Are you ready to hang with everybody? Hi, friends! Hello, beautiful internet friends. I am unnecessarily excited, and you're handling it really well.
Thank you.
For anyone who's confused, this is not Kevin. This is not Kevin. This is not Kevin. But this is like the whole reason why imboredtoys ever has gone live ever, because you answer the same 9 questions from us every single Saturday.
Thank you.
So patiently.
Yeah, it's very true.
So sweetly, so kindly. This is BoPro.
Hello.
I get to hang out with BoPro. Kevin thinks that she's going to keep me from touching all the Lego pieces while he's not here. He thinks that. It's outrageous. It's a ridiculous thing. It's time. It's time. Are you guys excited for Super Stream? We're going to start bringing in some friends to hang out with us. We're going to get going on this ladies' lovely live stream. I'm going to quickly say hi to some people in the chat. I see some of the usual suspects. We got Hot Babes in the house. Captain Zan, Hooded One, Super, D-Bricks, Tuscan Productions, Lauren already in there, which is amazing. imboredtoys, who is watching from very, very, very close by. Darth Gajira 80, welcome. Hi, Sai. And we got High Tea Toys. We got Dandy Bob, Plastic Architect. The Amazing Brick is here. We got Hooded One, Alice Megan. Hi, Sai. Sai just said hi back to me. Wave to him specifically. Tommy Rich in the house. Hello, Alice. Hello, friends. Everyone I missed. Hello, Nicoletta. Michaela. If I didn't say hi to you, you know the drill. Get real salty about it in the chat. I want to see real salty. The usual rules for the Saturday stream stand, which is volume down, headphones out. We are going to have hours of brand energy, and I need you guys to be mindful. Also, hydrate, caffeinate, meditate, medicate, whatever you gotta do to feel good. All of those things. Those are all the rules. We don't really have any rules. Let's bring in some friends. Bring everybody. I want everybody to kind of like that they all come in like a deck of cards. I like that. Look at all of the friends. That feels to me like you did a card trick.
Yeah.
And everybody just came up as a deck of cards, which pleases me enormously. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Nice.
Doing good.
Hooray! Okay. I have an idea. Tell me what you feel in your heart about thank you, D-Bricks. That was a fabulous entry. Also, yes, Tommy Rich. That was aggressive. That was aggressive. I hope that you feel all aflutter by the joy of that aggression. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by it, listen, sit back, take a second. If you need, turn the volume down, all of that kind of stuff. Do what you got to do. I have an idea. I want people probably know who you all are, but just in case, I want everybody to go around and introduce yourself and your channel and tell everybody who you are. How does that make you feel in your hearts, friends?
Makes me happy. Good. Let's do it.
Yay! Okay, do we all look the same on everybody's screen? Are we in the same order?
I think so.
If I point to people. Oh wait.
Maybe.
No, wait. How? Good. How sweet. There we go. Lauren, you're gonna kick us off. I did it. I believe in me.
Do we not want to start with BoPro?
Well, BoPro and I are gonna go last because everybody knows who we are.
That's fair.
Yeah. And also boring. We've been on here a lot. Lauren is new. Lauren is new, friend.
Lauren is new.
Yeah.
I'm Lauren. My tag/channel is Brightest Switch Bricks. Also BWB if it's too long to chat or say. And I like Harry Potter Lego a lot. Like a lot. And I'm very slow at putting out videos. I think I've reached 6 now. Woo!
Like applause. Everyone's like, yay!
Because I work for a hospital that owns my soul. So
and we thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you so much. But it's been a lot of fun, and I've had so much fun in the community, and I'm so happy to be here. And I love all of these ladies, and many of them inspired me to make my own channel, and I've loved seeing everyone else pop up. So that's just been really cool that I'm even here. So thank you for the invite, and I look forward to a fun time.
Ow, my heart and my feelings. I like that. Also, Lauren's fit is on point today. Can we just talk about the pin and the shirt and the earrings? It's all coordinated. It makes me happy. May, tell me everything.
Okay. I'm Jamae. I'm bricks and mortar on Instagram. I don't do YouTube. I just do Instagram. And I'm part of Tips and Bricks, which is a mock building technique page that's recognized by LAN. So we get to do set reviews. So I'm a big Monkey Kid fan. You might have seen me doing streams for Monkey Kid with Claire and Kevin and Tech. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I've watched a lot of these people for a long time through the internet, not in real life. So it's fun to be a part of it and to get to chat. So hi.
Don't watch people in real life. That's a different thing.
No, just through the internet.
Different than YouTube.
I swear.
Jimmy. Also, I will forever hear Monkey Kid from now on. Anytime someone says the words Monkey Kid, all I can hear in my mind is Kevin screaming, Monkey Kid. And that's the only way that those words it's good. It feels good. It feels energetic. Mm-hmm. Danny, tell us all about it.
Yeah, what's up, guys? It's Danny from Lego Danny Bob, as I always start my YouTube videos. I started my YouTube channel about 3 months ago. Been collecting Lego for about a year. And if you have watched any of my videos, they probably have some Star Wars content in them. So needless to say, huge Star Wars fan. And you can also find me on Instagram. I just started a channel there, or rather an Instagram page there as well. So yeah, I am excited to be here. I'm loving meeting everybody in the Lego YouTube community and also Instagram, Jamae. And so yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming in the future. And I never thought I'd get to collect Lego like this. So it has been so much fun. There's a little bit of a spoiler behind me if you guys notice that. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to build. Yeah. So thank you guys.
Emily, was that you that was just like, yes?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might have been. That's exciting. That's an awesome set.
Giant frisbee.
Giant frisbee.
Awesome. Michaela.
Hello. I'm Michaela. I have a Lego YouTube channel called Snot Okay. I'm extra snotty today because I'm losing the battle against grass pollen. I upload not as frequently as I'd like. That's what happens when you sell your soul to academia. Very similar to the hospital. Same blood pact. They go through the same lawyer. It's very messy.
Right.
But I always stream on Sundays, and I'm doing a bi-weekly Thoughtful Bricks thing that I'm really excited about. And yeah, that's my shtick. Just goblin accent, troublemaking nonsense.
You really, this especially, that is the punctuation to your it's gonna be sassy, but keep it cute. Yes, Michaela.
Yeah, I'll do this and then stab you. It's fine.
Yes, yes, that 100% is it. And for some reason, we'll all be like, I really like her. When she stabbed me, I felt seen. You won't even understand why, but you'll want more, Michaela. You want more, Michaela. Sarah, tell us everything.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah, or also known as Sarah Starbricks online, and basically I've been into Lego for I would say since 2017, so 3 or 4 years, and I started doing Lego YouTube content online last year, so it's been over a year now, and it's been awesome. The best part is meeting everybody online and making new friends in the Lego community, because it's always cool to share your hobbies and your interests with other people, and there's not anybody in real life near me that I know that really enjoys what I like, so it's nice to talk to people online about it. But other than that, I'm kind of just a nerd in general. I like games and comic books and nerd culture and stuff like that. So that's pretty much me.
Also, I think you might win at chair. I'm willing to see if Danny is potentially a challenger, but at first glance, I think Sarah might win at chair. Oh, see, I don't know. Okay, listen, Danny, does your chair come with a hat of some kind? Because Sarah's has an accessory. That's cute.
It's really cute. I know. I said I wanted a pink chair, a very cute pink chair, and this is what I got. So it's absolutely the best chair ever.
Nailed it. Okay, better. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Dan. Appropriate use of hats. Emma Sorius, tell us.
Hey, I'm Emily. I don't know. I've been into Lego for about 3 years, maybe 2 years, but really more seriously about a year
and a half. I don't know. Scooby and Disney got me into Lego, and my husband's been into it forever, and he kind of introduced me, and now I'm here. So it's been a blast. Yeah, we're working on our Lego city. We're actually destroying it right now to make it better going forward. So that's been kind of fun. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Delightful, as always. Emily, Claire, how
Hey.
are you?
Good. I just woke up like 40 minutes ago. Yeah. Slept in. It's West Coast, so it was 11:30 a.m. It's not that bad, guys.
You're doing great. Listen, it's Saturday. No one is the boss.
I've got my coffee. I also stopped working like a few months ago, so I'm in a new schedule. But my name is Claire. I go by the Plastic Architect. It is a branding that I thought would be creative since I used to practice architecture for a long time, and I'm taking a little mini break for a bit, but the years of brainwashing are still there, and I can still architect, I guess. I have been into Lego my entire life, and a couple over COVID and stuff, it just kind of went out of control, and I realized that there was like an adult community on the internet, and I live in San Francisco where there is constant crime. So anyway, that's me.
Nailed it, top to bottom. Joanna, how are you?
Hi, so I'm Johanna from High Tea Toys. I was really into Harry Potter Lego when I was a child. Entered my dark ages as I became a teenager, got rid of all my Lego. Oh no. And I rediscovered in August last year, and I set out on a mission to recollect what I used to have. That kind of changed to kind of 2 months in when I started going into city, and now I'm surrounded by Lego and I've sold my soul to them. So I thought I'd document the journey, which is why I started YouTube. But along the way, I've met so many awesome people, both on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm just having so much fun. So it's really awesome to be here with you all.
Oh my
so that's me.
Oh my heart. I like that. Cece, how are you?
Good.
Hi, friend.
Hi everyone. I'm CC, which is short for like my initials, but I guess it's also short for my channel, which is Cafe Corner, formerly Cafe Con Lego last year, but I had to drop that. So been collecting for about a year. Had my channel for about that long as well. Wanted to start documenting my journey, getting back into Lego. And YouTube seemed like a fun way to do that. Was really big into Bionicle when I was growing up, because that was really the only thing that I could afford that looked really fun to build.
Danny's just flailing in the corner.
But unfortunately that theme and a lot of my other favorites are no longer around, including Scooby-Doo and Adventurers and other fun things. So now my favorite theme is Lego Ideas, because the possibilities are endless.
Well said. I dig that. Also, look at all the weeping. Remind me to come back to that, people mourning the themes past, because we got some questions on that subject. Who are you and how did you get in this room?
I don't even know.
I don't even know how this happened to you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Ashley. I'm with Board Productions. I started my company a little while ago, doing all things video production. So live streaming, filming, editing, all the things. So I help
fixing all the problems within a 50-foot radius of you.
Exactly. I help produce the imboredtoys channel. And all the live streams and everything. And
you produce all my Skillshare classes.
I produce your Skillshare classes.
Thank God.
A handful of other types of things. So that's how I made it here. I live here.
And you live here.
Yes.
And also it's your house.
Yes.
And you let me in voluntarily.
Yes. I'm a Lego fan, but by
proxy.
Yes. Thank you.
Mm.
Love it. Just maybe not as much as y'all, but I do really enjoy it.
It's good to have one person like that in the room. I've found it's grounding. It's good to have a voice of reason in every room, and it ain't going to be me. So this is wise. Yeah. And you're a delight. And I demand that I have an emotional support introvert to my emotional support extrovert. Yes, CC ideas. And if somehow you found yourself here, I am being calm. Keel, I can be very calm when I have things to do. I am very capable of calm, I'll have you know. Everyone, if I'm not screaming from the hilltops and people are like, is she okay? Is everything okay? No, I just don't want to scare our new friends. Some of these are new friends, guys. We got to keep it chill. We only like, also hands up if you're enjoying our Hype Ladies Stream Dream Team group chat. I am enjoying it very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Kevin. Everyone loves the group chat. Kevin,
I didn't raise my hand.
Claire. Claire's been participating. She talked for several minutes about her.
No, I just want to say that it's Instagram does this thing where like you scroll down. I'm just waiting for someone to time stands out, but like you scroll down and like as people are chatting, like you can't scroll back up and like you keep having. Does this do this to anybody else? Like if people are chatting and you're trying to catch up,
yeah,
it's hard.
Which is infuriating, but that's the fault of Instagram, not the fault of our glittering, spectacular hype chat. Which when I told Kevin it was mandatory that he join us, I've never seen him look more upset. I told him I was going to require that he join us and participate enthusiastically with emojis. He hated every letter in that sentence. This is my favorite shoot. Thank you, Nicoletta. Thank you. I mean, a little hasty. We've been at it for like 20 minutes, but I love it. I appreciate it. And I love it. Speaking of which, if you somehow found your way here and you're not familiar with Screaming Brenda, that the amazing Brick just claimed is the best Brenda, my name's Brenda. I go online by Art and Jest. I'm also half of the people that are often sitting here on Saturdays for I'm Bored Toys. Kevin is the one who knows things. So usually Kevin is here and he knows things about Lego. Today, Ashley is here and she knows everything about like tech and production and everything. So if you have deep cut Lego questions, we're going to be throwing that to our lovely panel because my whole bit on the channel is that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I love Lego. I'm excited about Lego. I have a lot of questions and maybe some hostile demands of Lego. And I would love for you guys to answer me about why certain things are and are not the case because Kevin's not here and he can't stop me from asking. But today, we just wanted to hang out with a whole bunch of the lovely lady rock stars of Lego. So thank you, big time, all of you, for coming. You are the loveliest. And I think Kevin already mentioned it in the chat, but we don't have the, like, our little, like, super chat StreamYard hack is not on today. And we love you all for your desire to donate. It's incredible. Here's what I want you to do with that energy instead. If somehow you have found your way here and you are not subscribed to all of these people on all of the platforms, this is the deal. You got to go into the description where we have done the diligence of putting their links in here. You should be subscribed to all of these people. If they have a YouTube, subscribe to their YouTube. If they have an Instagram, subscribe to their Instagram. And if you've done all of those things, go check out their streams, find a channel, find a way to support it, buy their merch, give them a super chat. And if you're not in a position to do that, like their video, comment on it intelligently, not just 2 emojis. Do it with words, a full sentence, a thoughtful sentence that shows that you have watched the entire thing. And then even better, recruit someone unsuspecting to join you in loving this new creator. That's your job. That's your super chat. That is how you show love to all of these fantastic ladies of Lego. Sound good, my chats?
Yes, please bring strangers into the loop.
Yes, good strangers, not
do
stranger
not bring
danger.
strangers to my LinkedIn. Thank you.
Not to the LinkedIn. Nobody wants. Do we have LinkedIn? Do people
No.
have LinkedIn? It is. This is very achievable homework.
But I'll get the notification and then it'll give me anxiety. So don't find me.
Right. So nobody find. Thank you, Lord of the Bricks. I appreciate that. This is Zan, also Captain Zan. Jazz hands for you, as per usual. You were a delight. So I have questions that we got from my Instagram. And the first time we got questions, I accidentally didn't capture them before the story disappeared. and I'm sorry. So Jamae, don't make that face. I tried really hard. It was an exciting day. I saw you do that. Listen, this is what I did instead. As well as I could, I remembered the questions and I put them in myself to my own question. So if I ask something that sounds like it could be your question and I've botched it somehow, again, get very salty in the chat. You can @ me. You might not be able to @ me, but you can like @ imboredtoys. And can they @ imboredtoys? Kevin will just have to endure them adding me and I'll figure it out. But I do have some questions for everybody. But before I do that, lovely lady rock stars of Lego, does anybody have any burning questions in their heart, things that you want to throw out to the group while you have these powerful resources? Or do you want to take a quick minute to go around, tell us what you're building? And also you get a free-for-all of like, if you need to dump out and open, I need to open this because I need to touch what's in it. So I need to make some sounds. So if you need to mute yourself and make some sounds, go ahead. I'm
muting.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Mute.
Okay.
Mute. I'll be really quick.
Someone else has to talk now.
I was very prepared and I emptied my bag before the stream.
As did I.
Look
I definitely
at
did
us.
my bag during the introductions.
But I was even more prepared, and I still had a bag open from 3 days ago on my desk. So, and that I never cleaned up. That's all I have to say. So.
That's it.
So preemptive.
The level of preparation is like, it's different.
Yeah.
Just
I
it's
think-
different.
I'm gonna try to sort, but we'll see how productive that is. That means like going in and out of. Look how calming.
Oh my God, they're lining up.
Thanks. It makes me feel like I'm not good at life sometimes.
No, that's not the intent.
No, I know. But
My
I'm
drawers
really
look like
good.
that. No.
It's that okay. That makes me feel a little better. But also it's because I can't even I need to find a better way to get this organized.
I still haven't figured it out. Like I have all my printed ones in one thing, and the problem with dots, you get like 4 of one printed thing, and you're like, should I separate it from everything else? Do I put it on a plate? But then, am I going to damage the printing if I like try to get it off with a brick separator over and over again? So this is a real thing. Or you can do individual baggies, which I've done as well, but you don't have the visibility, and it's difficult. It's life is hard, guys. Life is hard. We have big problems here in the Lego space.
I have a problem that I want BoPro to fix with advice. I'm bad at money dollars and have grad student paychecks, but I want the quality of my videos to be better. What is the first thing that I should invest in?
Oh, that's a good question.
Smartphone? You always tell me smartphone.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
phone.
do you have? I mean, I think probably video, like the quality of the camera. Do you have a webcam now?
No, I use my smartphone or my computer camera, which is what is doing its job right now.
Okay. Yeah, because smartphones, I mean, that's what we started using. That's what imboredtoys started using from the very beginning. Before I got Kevin this fancy camera for his birthday,
which was very lovely of you.
Yes,
it's the exact same as my camera, copycat.
Yeah, and if you can like get an app that has good like autofocus, I think that's really great. And then the other thing I think that people don't always think about is lighting. And if you can, and you don't have to spend a lot of money if you've got, some good, natural light, or even if you have lamps, like, the number of times I've like moved all these like lamps around in the house to get, some extra lighting.
We used to hack our light, and that $30 ring light that you got me to get when we were shooting, it was like $30-$40 on Amazon. It's not expensive. It's not going to last forever, but you can change the color on it. It was a cheap, especially for those of us with a hectic pink undertone, because she looks frantic most of the time. That was a good.
Yeah, and that was actually Captain Zan asked a question.
Hi, Zan.
about how to make like faces look a little less red, and definitely getting lights that are not warm lights, so so like if you can change the temperature to cool and warm using the cool light setting, but also like LED lights versus just like the regular light bulbs usually produce a little bit of a cleaner light that helps reduce a little bit of that redness. But then also, Captain Sam, check your white balance.
I feel like that should be like under your logo. Yeah. Board Productions. Board Productions. Check your white balance.
Check your white balance on your camera. We can talk offline if you want.
And we can talk offline.
And yes. Yeah.
Smart. Also, I did get a couple of tech specific questions for you that I sent you that Ashley can go over with us. I gotta say, semi-trolling on my own channel is delightful. Kevin, I can reach so much of your good stuff from here. So much of stuff. And I can look at
top shelf stuff.
Look it.
Top shelf set.
Look it. Do you see it? I can't. Do you see it? I could have this bull clone army all over this room. So
Brenda, this is not a hostage situation.
Yes, Michaela. Sorry, Michaela. Okay, Michaela. Many people are shouting out Board Productions in the chat, which is a sure sign of how often something bad has happened during our stream, and we've done nothing to fix our problem and just gone, BoPro! And then she does it. I do want to know just briefly, what do people do for their Lego storage solutions? How are people doing this? How are people handling this? Specifically curious about small pieces, but I do want to know just roughly, are your sets like all assembled and in view? Are you doing everything in clear drawers? Is everything in like a blanket bag under the bed? Do you have a secret like Doom drawer?
Doomsday.
All the above.
All of the above. CC, do you have like the
excellent
drawer
answer, CC.
system?
Yeah. Well, you may not. There we go.
Yeah.
So I do have some drawers. They're not really sorted. I don't know why I have them. And then I got some of these like tool drawer things from Wish. So these like little small ones.
Oh, cute.
They were way too expensive for me to get like a whole bunch, and they took like 3 months to get here. And then let's see, for minifigures, I have like a tool.
Oh, that's
nice.
Yeah.
So all my little minifigure parts go in here.
Oh, that's smart. Wait, Emily, do you have the tool? Do you do the toolkit thing for minifigures? Was it you that had?
I don't think so. We have like, do we have them behind me? You can't see them. The like official Lego minifig display, but that's more for display. We don't have like an actual storage. We just put it all into the Lego City room and close the door, and it's just a giant mess, so we don't have to look at it. That's kind of our solution. Just make sure there's a door you can close, and you're good.
So this is accepted Lego Canon solution. Find a room with a door that you can shut on it and leave, and then just move on.
It's definitely the best. Yeah, like even like when I like converted this room into just Lego and took all the Lego and put it in here, except for like a few things on display, it was like the most calming thing. Like even if it was clean in here or not clean in here, just to shut the door and like not have the visual clutter was great. But that's not an option that everybody has, obviously.
Right. Like a lot of people for layout, you don't necessarily have the luxury of like an entire room that you can, or if you do, your people that you live with, like other humans might potentially be in that room and be like, what the actual, this is unacceptable behavior. We have to talk about this.
I actually just updated my storage solution, which is a massive spoiler for my next vlog, which is already about a week late anyway. But I bought lots of these takeaway containers because, like, I feel like a lot of Americans I've seen have these really beautiful like drawers with a system that looks really nice. Like Claire has some of them, and they look so good.
Yeah.
But I stuck with a free like unit with lots of really narrow drawers that I found on like Facebook Marketplace, collect for free. And then I got some takeaway containers. Sorry, I'm just trying to put it in shot of the camera, but they're just kind of really narrow drawers. And I finally sorted by parts because I finally have enough room to not just do color, but do by parts. And honestly, mock building has been revolutionized, and I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, there's probably about 20,000 people that are now like, you didn't sort by part, who are you? But yeah, it's great.
I didn't do that either, but it's only because I didn't know. I didn't know.
No, it's fine. I think everybody does that to a degree a little bit. And it's fine. And honestly, there's like some killer mock builders that sort by color. Like Snap Brick sorts by color, Tricky Brick sorts by color, you know, and there's, you know, proof is in the pudding. Like these guys produce incredible stuff. So it's just like how your brain operates, you know, and like how you find the pieces and stuff like that. And it just tends to seem like just it's easier to find like a black 1x4 in a drawer full of other 1x4s, like versus like in a pit of black pieces. So yeah, and it's just people. And by the way, I think I should start. I need to contact Iris and be like, look, I'm going to order 300 of these things and send them over to the UK and to Europe. What can I do?
Yes.
I feel like I should start
like the European shipping business.
Yeah, exactly. I should start like a distribution center of like things that we have. Like we have a lot of really good plastic options in the US. It's just we manufacture a lot of stuff here and outside, and we import a ton from China, particularly here in the Bay Area. I could just literally go to Oakland and get most of this stuff when it comes in. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. If anyone wants me to start distributing plastic products and negatively impacting my carbon footprint, let me know.
I would like to mark this as the beginning of Claire's villain timeline. She is going to have a Lego storage monopoly, and it's going to end ugly. Okay.
This feels right to me.
It does feel right to me as well.
Yeah.
Look, I definitely import a lot from Europe. I'm just thinking like my minifigure display cases are from the UK. My shelving system that I love so much is also manufactured in the UK. And so look, I'm an equal supporter of all, like, you know.
You are going to be the like tradeswoman that like surpasses old Jeffy Bezos-y. You're going to be on the cover of Forbes, and it's going to be like Lego Hustler or Crime Boss. We don't know.
Can you design a spaceship then? I want you to make your own space program. If that's going to happen, then the next thing should be that you design a space program.
But it needs to have like some different goal.
I'll just call
like, what are you? What are you really doing in space?
Taking Lego up there, making
Yeah.
unique printed figures that I can sell on the aftermarket. I don't know.
All of that sounds perfect to me. I love all of it. What about little bitty pieces? What are you guys doing? Listen, I will tip my hand. It's dots. It's dots. I care about dots. And they're already like, my partner is already like watching what comes in the house and being like, listen, I don't know about it. And like, just not in an unkind way, but just in a like, what exactly is your plan here, Brenda? That's what it is. I need to know how to store dots in a way that I can see them all the time.
What if you did them in like a spice rack type of situation? Because
shakers?
I wouldn't, I mean, the shaker, I don't know. But like, just like the visuals, you could just fit a whole bunch in a little tubey doobie, you know, and have them there.
I'll show you what it looks like in mass. Okay.
Yeah.
So what Sarah's suggesting, which is a good one, is like if you put them in little baggies. You put them in little baggies, right, inside of a bin. You can kind of see them, but you have to have like a good chunk. So right now I have these pulled out for like a specific video or whatever, but you can, so you can like kind of pull them out like this. Then the other option is, excuse me, let me put my lulls to the side here. But what you can do is these ones, which you have one of, but you can get more of, right? And so like one can have like just like studs in them, and then another one could have just like circular dots in them, and then another one could have like the half, the like, you know, partial whatever, you know. And then the issue is the printed ones. Maybe the printed ones goes in a little bag, or I don't know. I'm like throwing some ideas out there.
I like it. Aw, thank you, Lord of the Bricks. That's lovely. We're getting big love from people in the chat, and also BoPro is secretly pulling your questions and putting them in a separate document, which is something I have neither the forethought nor the multitasking skills to do. So once again, silently, always in the background, Board Productions is just making our lives function, and everyone should have one. Also, Claire, how much would it cost? Has anybody had their collection like professionally organized ever? Is there such a thing as like a professional Lego organizer? Does that exist?
I would absolutely do that for a small fee of that's probably 5 figures. I would absolutely do that. No.
Sarah, is that what, do you do the little baggy thing to separate colors and then bin, like drawer bin like that for dots? Because you do a lot of that stuff, right?
My dot stuff is actually inside of these IKEA containers, which I was actually just putting myself off camera for a minute to go look for, but I can't find it because my stuff is everywhere. But there's these like divider trays, and you can get them in IKEA. Anything also that is used for sorting craft things like bead sorters and things like that are really good for sorting little tiny pieces. You can usually buy those at craft stores. So those are things that you can look for at, like if you're in the US, Michael's or Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. You can find all kinds of like small organization type trays. So I like to use stuff like that for small pieces. The baggies is actually for little pieces as well. Like if there's only like 4 printed dots, like Claire had mentioned earlier, I would separate those maybe at least by series in smaller bags. And there's tons of different varying sizes of those bags. And I also like to put extra pieces in them. So yeah, it's like, it's
Smart.
organized chaos.
The craft storage, like taking the word Lego out of it, I'm getting the impression is a big part of finding less expensive storage solutions. Nerd brand, tackle storage. I'm into that. Smart. Okay, brilliant. I want to maybe actually, Sarah, we might get you to start because there's a couple of similar questions that I want to ask you guys, and some of them are like they're like ones that I see a lot that probably everybody has an answer to, and they're all kind of related. So people are obviously asking what's your favorite theme or set, but also we got a couple of questions of people asking like, what's your white whale set? Like one that you can't get your hands on, or like it's retired, or maybe it's even one that doesn't exist or something, or it was an ideas that didn't make it. So favorite theme or set, and your white whale set that you can't track it down, or you think you're going to have to sell organs to get it.
Ooh. Am I starting?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Surprise.
All right. Well, my favorite Lego theme is kind of a combination. I do really like the ideas theme because I think it's such a cool thing to inspire people out there to feel like they can actually have something they create be in a Lego store one day. Like, how cool is that? So ideas is definitely like near and dear to my heart. And I like Disney and Harry Potter, of course, too. And just, gosh, there's so many things. It's hard to choose just one. And modular buildings. So enough about that because there's tons. But my favorite is pretty much everything. If it's Lego, it's my favorite. And my white whale set, I actually am lucky enough to own now. So I'm not sure if it counts as a white whale anymore. But when I had a birthday a few years ago, and I went to go see Lego Movie 2 for my birthday that year. And I always wanted the Welcome to Apocalypseburg set, that really huge Lego Movie 2 set with it's like post-apocalyptic and Statue of Liberty, and I really wanted it super bad. And now I do own that now. So I'm very lucky to say that I own my white whale set.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's mine too, Sarah. The
It is?
Apocalypseburg one. Yeah, that's my white whale set. I totally missed that wave, and now it's totally gone. But the worst thing is that there's actually 2 copies of it at my Lego store. So I've befriended those people, and they're like, oh, we have 2 in the storeroom, but they've been recalled from Lego, so we're not allowed to sell them. So they've just been sitting there for years, and like nobody can have them. The employees can't even have them. And I'm like, but I don't care. Just give it to me. I'll pay for it. I swear.
Wait, hear me out. We have the perfect screen right now for an Ocean's 15, 16 style heist. Lovely ladies of Lego heist. And like,
we could do it.
We could do it. And also, I feel like there's enough people that like we could do them a distract, like a very good, like a lot of, and then
You'd probably be good at that.
I'd be really good at that. I would fake a seizure in a heartbeat in the middle of a Lego store if I thought that it would like distract and like we could all get in like for 3 years.
All we have to do is just like throw Lego bricks on the floor, and everybody will either go build things or walk on them and be in pain. So everybody be distracted by that, and then we can just grab the sets we want.
It's a booby trap and a distraction, also probably pleasing. Yeah,
I'm already planning. I'm like, who's gonna get a job at that Lego store, and it's just gonna be like a one day. Jamae, you're like, I'm gonna ruin my relationship with Lego, but it was worth it.
My corporate relationship with Lego will be ruined from here on out, but I'll have my white whale set, so it's worth it.
There you go.
No.
But if we're good at our jobs, they won't know it's you.
That's true.
Oh,
exactly. This is why
we're not producing evidence right now whatsoever.
Cece is going to
This
be
is
one
not
like,
real.
with big headphones and 13 screens, and Cece will be the one who's like, "I'm hacking into the mainframe." You'll be able to open the door to your right in 3, 2, 1. You know that person. That person. I believe they're referred to as the brains of the operation in most movies. Emily, do you have a white whale set? We know your themes usually. Do you have a favorite set or a white whale set at this point?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite sets I have 2, the Mr. Machine and Disney Castle, because they're both awesome. But I don't know, like, because I'm like a newer fan, so my priority has been getting the sets that I most wanted so far. So I don't know. As of right now, my most wanted like white whale Lego set, it's probably Joker Manor from the Batman movie. Just that really cool like Joker Funhouse type set. I think that's what it's called. It just looks awesome. And I didn't even know that set existed till we went to Bricks and Minifigs in San Antonio and they had it. I was like, what is that? That's crazy. But it was like $600. So we didn't get it. And it was dusty and just, it's used for $600. So no, but in the future, maybe one day we'll get that one. It would just be really cool, especially like while we're expanding our city to just have a really cool, just kind of dark side of the amusement park type set,
Yes. Haunted amusement park.
Yeah.
The like abandoned old section that they
like the anti-Disney World.
Yes.
Great.
Oh my gosh, what was that? Who was the artist that did the like anti-Disney theme park?
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like Bendy and the Ink Cave.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Banksy? He did it just down the road from us, where he did like there was an old arcade park that he kind of like the staff was hired to be really rude to everybody, and I had a few friends that went and they were like, it's really fun and so bizarre because you know that you're paying people to just be horrible to you and you're just in this horrible place, but it's really cool.
It's so I love the concept of that. I love the idea of people going and being like, I want the anti-Disney experience. I also just saw, I'm so sorry guys, I used the term white whale set without saying white whale is like a reference to Moby Dick. The white whale is like the set that you can't have. It's like this elusive thing that you want and you can't get your hands on. And a couple of people were
Joanna
like,
had
what?
that conversation yesterday.
Joanna, we're looking at you.
It's not. I had heard it like a white whale is like a thing that you want. I didn't know that a white whale set was like a thing that a lot of people were like, yeah, the white whale. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Haunted anti-theme park section. Yes, please. I really.
It'll be awesome. Hopefully, if I can ever get that set, we'll see.
Start a little thermometer goal to the haunted thing with your member section or something, and be like, every time we get super chats, we're like inching towards.
We're almost there, guys.
What about you, Claire? Do you have a white whale set?
I do. Like, I have the standards that a lot of people have, like Green Grocer and Cafe Corner and stuff like that, just because I love the modulars so much. But like, truly, my white whale sets that I'm like really looking at being like, okay, how do I, refinance my apartment so I can get this, is like, there's like an imperial flagship. There's like an imperial ship that's like, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like blue and gold, and it's like it's very old. And then there's this chess set that's by Castle, and it's got goblins and stuff like that. It's about like $1,000 new in box and stuff. And it's like, it's got all these trolls and like things like that. Those are probably two of the things I want the most. So the thing is like, because of so Sans is like an encyclopedia of Lego sets, and he like just like knows so much information. So if you're like, oh, like if you do this thing where you're like, I have like all the Viking sets or I have all the Scooby-Doo sets, he'll be like, no, you do not. And he knows all these like exclusive things and stuff like that. So the problem is like I'm exposed to a lot more stuff now that I wanted, that I didn't want before. So, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but anyway, yeah.
And your favorite theme, if you had to pick?
If I had to pick, it's hard because it's like, I think the sets that I've enjoyed building the most and I'm the most intrigued by are the Ninjago city sets, like the city, the docks, the gardens and stuff. I think they are super impressive. Like I love that style. The Chinese New Year sets are also some of my favorites. And then from a nostalgia perspective, and I don't even think these are particularly the best sets, but they have some of the best figures, would be Vikings, Indiana Jones, and Lord of the Rings. So yeah. Yeah.
Some of your Viking, like all of your like old school pirate ship vibe, like nostalgia childhood sets.
I love that stuff. Yeah, it's like all crappy brown, and like the actual build is not that great, and the instructions are total nonsense. But like they're great. I love them. They're beautiful. You know.
Is that the one? Is that the color that shreds when you try to?
It's one of the ones that shreds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was exciting information to me when I first learned it, that certain colors are like a safety hazard if you're trying
over time. So they, you know, because I don't know them. I should probably ask a couple of my friends, but I don't know the material science of it, but like it's essentially like over time that they become like a much more brittle thing. And I do know that like reds in general are problematic colors, but specifically in cosmetics and in painting, obviously you guys would know, it's really hard to get like eye safe red colors, or in hair. It's also like really hard. Like red doesn't want to like stay in hair. It's like, it's one of the smallest, I think, at a molecular level. And so it like falls out. Anyway, we can get into this more and more, but someone asked me if I have the Ninjago City Docks. I think it was Mark, and I do. I do. So
delightful, victorious, appropriate size flex. Joanna, what about you? Do you have a white whale set? Is there one that's still like?
I feel like it's more like a list than one, to be honest. I was gonna say, to be honest, the first one that came up is the Tower of Orthanc, because I just love the Lord of the Rings set, which is like one's just sitting like right next to it, like right here. This was up the top of my most wanted like retired sets for a long time. I'll hold it up again. I've added some figures.
It's when they're in it's like their conference room, you know, they get together and they're like, you know, we got stuff to do, guys.
I love it so much, and I think it embodies a lot of what I would have loved the Lord of the Rings lineup to be like, because I think I've talked about this before, so sorry if I bore people, but basically I really would have loved the Lord of the Rings sets that had more non-battle scenes, because I feel like every single set mostly is a battle scene, apart from the Orthanc Tower, which is obviously huge and very expensive, and I now have to sell my house for, which I don't even own. And then obviously the Council of Elrond is the only like elf-centered set, and I kind of wish there was more of that, and I really still will petition till the death for more Lord of the Rings like Lego. And Ben said that if there is going to be more Lego Lord of the Rings, he will start collecting with me, which makes this petition even more important. So guys, if you could all do me a favor, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I love Lego Lord of the Rings is great, but Ninjago City and Ninjago Docks have become really dear to me, and because Ninjago City Gardens was just so fantastic, I need the other two.
Fair. I didn't know that about the Lord of the Rings sets, that they were all battle scenes. Like, are there still buildings and stuff in them? Like, do they still have backdrops?
There's like like a castle. There's like there's like this one big castle one that has like, it kind of splits into 3 sets. Let me see if I can grab parts.
There was another theme that they did that there wasn't that much like actual building or background. It was mostly just like, it was when I was looking at the Adventure
so Helm's Deep is fine. Yeah, I'm not saying like they're terrible sets on their own. I'm just saying that most of the sets that they did create were like part of the battles, which kind of makes sense. You know, Lord of the Rings has a lot of battles, but there was an opportunity for so much more. And obviously, when they did the Hobbit line, they did kind of take the opportunity. They made Bag End, which obviously I also still need. So there is some really lovely ones. But I just want more detail and more more A-full sets that we get nowadays, you know, like in the style of like medieval blacksmith. Can we just do that, but like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I have this is actually sitting next to my medieval blacksmith. I need to get the rest of the castle one out, but yeah, they're spot on. I wish I bought, like, I bought a couple of these like on the shelves. Like I have Orthanc from back in the day and stuff, and I wish I don't know what was stopping me. Like I just was like, I don't really want these. I don't think I want them that much.
Yeah, fair.
It's so stupid. Yeah.
Hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I remember like looking at also Apocalypseburg, and it was like on sale, and I was like, I don't know, that's a lot. That's like kind of messy and blah blah blah. And now I'm just like beating myself for it. And same with the Ghostbusters headquarters. Like anyway.
Didn't you order that one though, Claire?
Yeah.
Okay.
I paid like 4 times what I could have paid a few years ago.
I love the little. This is the classic, like when you have to hold your own face to like contain.
Yeah, I mean, like
giving you. Yeah.
Like I'm a very financially I'm a pretty frugal person when it comes to certain things, and it's like Lego, absolutely not. Like it is. There's something. It's really bad. Yeah.
It totally like short circuits your brain. Like there's like the fiscal side of your brain that's for everything else, and then there's like the Lego goblin money brain when it's just like, no, I give you paper and or plastic so I can have shiny block. Thank you, bye. And that's it.
And then you do this brainwashing thing. You're like, oh, it's like a good investment, and it's okay to be. It's not like I just want to be frank.
He immediately is like,
I mean, certain things, but like really, like putting that kind of money, like a few $1,000s, like back in the market, is probably like a better return on your investment. You can make a lot more money that way, and there's like, there's other, but no, who cares? Who cares about getting some mutual funds, bonds? Like we don't need these things with Lego.
You know what you need to invest in though, that is going to supersede the markets, is that we should be spending thousands of doll hairs on rainwater collection systems, okay, for when the apocalypse happens and nobody else can get the waters.
Yes,
and
when the apocalypse happens, we have all the Lego. Like, what are we going to do with this?
We'll build the rainwater collection system.
Time to get your water collection, okay?
Build a
your
rainbow
aquaponic system. That's where you need to be invested in.
So Lego is part of your disaster preparedness kit, everybody. Put a little poly bag in there.
Only because people are going to get really bored, and then I will like what is the not W word? I will rent my Lego for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. And lord it over everybody.
And be like, oh, you're bored?
I have a friend of mine who asked about that. She was like, how about like people in cities, you know what I mean, who don't have a lot of space? Like, is there a brand? Is there like a thing that you can do to like, lent out? Like, can you do like a Birchbox or like, like a back and forth, like Rent the Runway equivalent with Lego? And I was like, that's kind of foul, and it's very not COVID friendly. But I don't know. It's interesting because it's like, I think a lot of people want to play with it, and especially a lot of parents. I could see that for their kids, and they know that it would go away. I don't know. I don't know what the market is. It'd be interesting because especially with like a minimalist mentality that a lot of urban environments tend to have.
Right.
I don't know.
My cousin's boyfriend has a business that does exactly that. He's just set it up. So he's doing subscription models where basically people can like subscribe for a certain amount of Lego, and then they can choose their sets from his collection. The issue with it is technically, to make sure that all the pieces are there when it gets returned to you, you have to build it, and it's really time intensive, and it really isn't a great way of making money.
Yeah, exactly. Like that operation cost is so high. It's like, and that's one of the reasons why like a lot of bricklink stores and stuff like aren't particularly successful, because it takes so long to like pull the bricks, right? Which is like why when we order from like bricks or like Lego Pab or whatever, online, it takes so long because it's like some person individually picking the pieces. So you know, like you have to be like a big company and have like a lot of overhead to be able to do that, or you just do it as like a hobby because you love it so much and it gives you joy. So,
Right.
yeah.
One, I'm very interested in Cece's white whale. Two, I apologize for hijacking with my crackpot shenanigans. But I did want to say that you know, folks in the lug that I'm a part of have actually talked about doing like going in on like the Ninjago Gardens or the big frisbee or even the Death Star, and doing like a sisterhood of the traveling pants type situation where we just like send it to one another. It's all folks that are Lego advocates, so you can like
And it's magic, right?
yes, it's magical.
Magic.
And then at the end you piece it out. So it's like you put $30 in. Oh, I'm dying. And then, you know, you're not spending $600 on this set, you're spending $60 and you still get that experience. Cece, please tell me your secrets. Thank you.
Tell us all your white whale set.
Well, actually, before I go into that, so I have a couple of comments about what was going on. So, one, last time I was at the Lego store, there were a bunch of friends who were looking at the Star Destroyer, I think, whichever one is the $800 one. And they were like, oh, well, if you guys want it, we can all go in on it. And so I was like, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Like, who's going to get to keep it? Type of deal. But I just shut my mouth.
Custody battles.
Yeah.
Well, I'm OCD too, so I would be like weirded out by it, I guess. Like, I'd be like, who of my friends that I'm sharing this with, like, who washes their hands? Like, I don't know. I would be weirded out.
Yeah.
So Cece's veto, she's saying that like the whole like shared custody of Lego set, maybe not the most practical solution.
That's because Cece is like probably the most thoughtful and understands the human condition. And it's like, this is actually just going to turn into a trash fire.
I could just tell it by their energies, which like I'm not that type of person that like really reads energies a whole lot, but like I could just tell. Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's undeniable. You don't need to read it.
Oh yeah. You're like y'all are messy.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit was telling me this wasn't a good idea. But and then actually I was on Reddit, which I don't know why I do this, because I like to browse Reddit, especially business ideas, and like read all of people's like crazy business ideas. And somebody was like, Netflix for Lego, and everybody was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, well, there's net bricks, but they're small, so if you want, you could try. And then there were a lot of people giving actual practical information about the operation cost and things like that. So really interesting. Was actually reading that at work yesterday. And then for my white whales, they're not like non-existent or like super hard to find. Because I've actually seen them in the wild. So when I was at Bricks and Minifigs last year, I saw Palace Cinema, which is one I really want, mainly to just put a whole bunch of Gremlins figures in there and recreate that scene. Yeah, that's a dream. So, but I flew there, and usually I drive to Florida, but that time I flew, so I couldn't buy it and bring it back on the plane with me. So I was really upset about that. And then when I went to the Lego store a couple weeks ago, or not the Lego store, sorry, the comic book store, they had the Mystery Mansion, which is one I really want. But I wasn't there for that. So I didn't prepare to go in there and spend a whole bunch on Lego. So, but one of these days I'll get something like that. And then like my non-existent white whale would be, there's this, I think the ramen shop is called like Ichiroku. It's from Naruto. And it's like this main spot that Naruto sits at. And he basically grew up there. And now with Boruto, like he goes there with his son. And it really touches my heart. And if I think about it too much, I'll cry. But there was a Lego Ideas set. And it didn't like go through and get made. But I would
It was really nice.
have loved that. Yes.
That's
See,
when you
I'm
contact
imagining
them.
you, like reaching back into like leaving both of those buildings and just being like, no.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
That immediately makes me want to like find the designer of that shop and be like, excuse me, for the good of humanity, I need you to make rebrickable instructions. Okay.
Good of humanity. Lauren, what about you? Do you have a white whale set? Do you have a
All right.
like a, or is it like a fictional? Is it
Well,
one that you're
wait,
like, I will
You
create
gotta
it?
ask me what my favorite theme is.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Everyone, brace yourself emotionally for the shock of Lauren's answer. I want you to ready your butt.
Guys,
Yes,
look at me.
May is assumed the correct shock stance. You're right. Forgive me,
Michaela. Your brace face.
Favorite theme,
Guys, it's Harry Potter.
My body was not ready.
Kayla's body was not ready. Not ready.
Right. So,
Captain Zan. Oh my God, is it HP? Lauren?
be shocked.
Shocking.
Anywho, I actually, of all the Harry Potter sets that have officially been released to the public, sans I don't care what you say, I have officially gotten all that were available to the public, and we're not going to talk about the Target Hedwig because that one doesn't count. I'll eventually go to some bricks. So that white whale was probably the motorized 2004 Hogwarts Express. That's the most like expensive sealed, and I of course was going to open it anyway, and I found a decent deal on it on eBay, and it still worked, and so I was able to get that one. Now let's talk about the one that doesn't exist, and it's the elephant in the room, and it's Gringotts. Okay. I swear, we better get it. In the next 2 years, Lego's gonna be giving me a Gringotts.
Lauren, you're manifesting it right now in this stream. I assume Lego is watching.
I will.
Right now, Lego's watching, right, guys? Yes.
But I really
Lauren-
want the official thing.
Yeah. Fair.
I love mocks, and I've definitely gotten way more into mocks, and I really want to expand on Diagon Alley and stuff, but there's something very special to me about the sets that have come out. And that's why I wanted all of them. That's why I put most of my effort into really collecting all of them. Because I started out early and I had all the 2001 and some of the 2002 sets. And then I got jumped right back in at the 2018 D2C, like micro scale Hogwarts. And I had no idea about the Lego online community, about, YouTube Lego, like any of that. I just started mass inhaling all new Harry Potter content.
Inhaling it.
Inhaling it. Like book release midnight party hype all over again. Anything that I can do, hey John, anything that I can do to just grab a piece of that. Again, that wisp of a memory. It's just fantastic. Yeah, 13 Grimmauld Place. But Gringotts, though.
So what was the first movie display of Gringotts?
When did it first appear? I mean, it's in the source stone.
It's in the,
Oh, right, they go,
Yeah, he's got to have he finds out he's rich. The whole thing.
When did the movie come out?
2001.
Was it 01?
01.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like when the first set came out.
Yeah.
Okay. What about what most happens there? Like out of everything, what is the dragon one? I'm probably like
Dragon one's the last one. Dragon one's final book.
When the dragon is on the doodad.
Yeah, and they ride the dragon out.
Which is why we all think it's going to come next year, because we all are like, it's going to be a Deathly Hallows wave. Like, give us Gringotts then, it makes sense. But
yeah,
we still want it now anyway.
Because I want some dark sets. I want the Hall of Prophecies. I want Department of Mysteries. I want 13 Grimmauld Place. I want those would be such cool sets, but they're darker. So I'm very curious what Lego's going to do.
You got to push that 18 plus.
I'm so excited. I'm very excited to see how long Harry Potter can go, because
in a way, I think it's timeless, but I do think it has a ticking clock before maybe they need to put it away and then bring it back out when it's, you know, there's a resurgence. When there's a remake, I could definitely see them doing something with HBO or something like that. But I'm very curious, but
yeah, it's not like Star Wars. There's so much more content with Star Wars, with like Clone Wars, and then the fact that there's like new content with Star Wars coming out now. Like Mandalorian was like, you know, such a huge like injection at the right time.
Oh yeah,
for Lego, I'm sure, you know,
perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting Clone Wars, not reboot, but like we're getting sets that we should have gotten 10 years ago now. I guess not 10 years ago, but
Lauren seems willing to play the long game.
Yes.
Seems like,
oh yeah,
she's
have to. I mean, and I'm allowed to foray under like very supervised excursions for Star Wars.
Gotcha.
Like R2's over here.
Yeah, of course. So. What about you, Jamae? Do you have a white whale set? Do you have would you like make a set that doesn't exist, or is there one that exists that you're like, I want this?
So I really do like Apocalypseburg. That set is amazing. The sea cow too, the giant ship that Abs Bricks is building right now. I'm following her on Instagram and I'm like obsessing over the fact that she's building it, and I want it so bad. Because it's just like they don't do those scale of sets that much. It's like Diagon Alley and like the Star Wars stuff, and then Ninjago City Gardens. I feel like I love the big architectural like minifig scale sets, and so I want them all.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Ocean's 13. Yeah. So
thanks, Pack.
Yeah, we're bringing it back now.
You're driving the getaway cars.
Triple speed, Tech. Triple speed.
Yeah,
yes.
Already.
Let's go. But yeah, but my favorite theme, I mean, I love Harry Potter. I will always love Harry Potter. But I don't rush out to get the sets because it's just too much. Like the wave was overwhelming. And I was like, I have to, so for Tips and Bricks, I have to review sets. So I have to prioritize those. So now I have to like think about my buying so differently.
Yeah.
Where it's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more spaced out and you can like hunt for deals and stuff. So, but actually, my biggest like theme in my collection, which isn't my favorite anymore, is actually Star Wars. Like back in the early 2000s when those movies were coming out, I bought every single set almost, and I loved them. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't enjoy it as much anymore, and it's oversaturated in a lot of repeats, so I don't really buy it much anymore. So I'm very open to new things. Like I've gotten into Ninjago, gotten into Monkey Kid, obviously. I guess that's probably my favorite theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want a 17th Farm Boy Luke?
I actually don't have Farm Boy Luke, but I don't particularly want him either. I know.
Fair.
I'm not that interested. I loved the prequel movies. So I have like a lot of those sets and Luke's not in them. So yeah.
What about you, Danny? Do you have like the theme focus of your channel yet, or is that still in flux? And do you have a white whale set that you're chasing?
Yeah, you know, I really like the Friends sets.
Yeah. Same.
I don't have any Friends sets. I mean, they are cool. Like my nieces have them, but yeah, Star Wars is definitely my favorite theme. Ideas is a close second because as I got back into Lego over the last year and a half, I actually got the medieval blacksmith set when it first came out, and that just like brought me into a whole new era of realizing how far Lego has come over the years. So I think like many of you guys, like maybe you liked Lego as a kid, you went into your dark ages, and then especially with quarantine, a lot of people got back into Lego. And I noticed like so many new channels popping up, and I didn't even think about doing like any YouTube stuff with my Lego. But after I got like Darth Vader's castle, the Tantive, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I got like this new Lego bug and I can't stop. I want to keep buying. Like, there's so many great sets coming out. And then as I learned more about ideas as well, I was like, wow, yeah, it really does open up a whole new world of just so many possibilities. So that was really exciting. And then like, as for Star Wars, like that was the first movie that I'd ever seen in theaters. It was Phantom Menace. And so like Star Wars, Lego, it's just like this, it's so nostalgic. It goes way back. So getting back into it now has been like really, really fun. And my white whale set is actually the larger version of what I'm building right now. So the new Imperial shuttle from 2021 is what I'm building now.
Wait, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up.
Yeah.
Big.
This one. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is the 2021 Imperial shuttle that I'm building on the street right now. But my white whale is literally white and it's massive, and it's the Imperial UCS version of the Imperial shuttle. So that one's just hard to find. Like I'm an eBay nut. I go on eBay all the time. Like when like CC, you're talking about Bionicle, and I'm over here flailing my arms because I purchased every single Bionicle because they were the only ones I could afford, and they're $8, and you get the figure, and then there'd be like 6 of them, and they're all different colors and different elements. And when I was like 13, 14, I was like, oh, I need to make money or something. I don't know. I had this like ambition to make a bunch of money so that, I don't know, maybe in the future I could buy all the Lego I wanted. It worked out for me. So I sold stuff on eBay when I was like 13, 14, 15. I sold all my Bionicle. I was really into Exoforce. I sold all my Exoforce sets. Like I had the full season 1, 2, and 3 collection. I feel like Exoforce is one of those Lego themes that just didn't get very much attention. Like it really wasn't that successful, but I was the right age and it was the right genre. And so I bought them all. And then I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I've spent too much money. Now I have to sell them all to justify all my life decisions. And so, yeah, I had sold everything at that time. So I like eBay and me go way back. And so being able to find stuff on eBay now, seeing how expensive it is, makes me wish I would have held on to all of the sets that I had. I didn't really have any Star Wars sets though, because again, those were the most expensive ones. And
right.
Yeah, that was tough. But yeah,
I want to
find the Imperial shuttle.
I want to know Michaela's white whale set, but I also want to know Danny and Cece, what is it about Bionicle? Because you guys both like that you have a passion behind when you're like Bionicle, that it's like and I get that some Kevin won't even let me say the word because apparently like people go bananas about it. Like it's very polarizing, I guess, in the chat. Remember, keep in mind, I don't know anything. So what is it about that theme that you guys think is so alluring?
They had their own language. Like they had these little discs that you'd shoot out, and there was a movie. It was like Matanui or something, and all the discs had like the code on it, and you would just like put it into the alphabet and decode it. But I memorized the whole thing, and I was like so into the movie, and I wanted to collect like all of the Bionicle. And then to see that they didn't really continue the story, if they would have done what they did with Ninjago with Bionicle, history would have been rewritten. It would have been the new Ninjago. So
look how bad, Kevin. You can't stop me. You can get here quick enough. You can't even stop me. I'm hanging out with my friends.
It didn't happen. So that's not the history that we live.
Yeah, fair. What about you, Cece? What was it about Bionicle? Was it a timing thing for you too?
Yeah, I think it was. Like I was always really I was like really desired like the large Marvel sets. And then of course, right, like at 9, 10 years old, like at least in my house, I wasn't going to get a $200 Lego set.
Right.
But I was like, okay, well, I can get this 10, 12, what is it? The Walmart, I guess numbers, it's like 98. It's like the weird ending. And yeah, so then I had the canisters and I was like, okay, well, this looks fun to put together and it'll stand on its own. And I think it was a lot of subliminal messaging because I used to do like the Scholastic book fairs a lot. And so they had like the Bionicle books and then they had the show and the movie. And so there was a lot of, I guess, being pushed into my brain about Bionicle, but there was like the cool language. And I did not really look into the lore about it a whole lot. And I wish I did. And maybe I'll go back because I'm a sucker for some cryptology type stuff. So yeah, that's why it was fun for me.
Also, cryptology is a top shelf word. Good choice. Good choice. That's awesome. It's one of those ones that like it falls outside of my notice, and it has this like small, rabid fan base, and I find it fascinating.
Yeah, my brother was obsessed with it. He always he got so many because I would get Lego and he would get Bionicle, and it was just such an easy get of boys and like all the. Still remember the commercials, dude. The marketing towards it, it was just crazy.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
So next time we all hang out, Danny and Cece will be able to speak fluent Bionicle to each other, and the rest of us won't know what's going on.
I'll have to see if it's on Duolingo.
You'll have to.
Duolingo.
Unfortunately, it's not on Duolingo. But
But High Valerian is.
Knew that. That was info you already had.
Danny, you're the one that will change that.
Yes.
I feel like you can lobby Duolingo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Michaela, the white whale.
Yeah.
The white whale set, the make up your own set, or perhaps sit aside. I know this is emotional for you, but I want
It is very emotional.
I know.
I am crying because of this question. It has nothing to do with my allergies.
Kevin would like to launch a disclaimer. Kevin, we don't have time for your disclaimers in this chat.
I think that Kevin is trying to do his PR side a little bit too late, Kevin. Okay, BoPro can't save you now because we have her. I don't know, man. So, like, the one that immediately comes to mind is the Ewoks village. But like my one, I really can't sit through a movie. It's like very difficult for me. But my comfort movies are the original trilogy. Like I can't sit through a movie. It's impressive if I watch the same movie like 3 times. But Xanadu, because I'm trash. And then the original trilogy are like the comfort movies that I will watch 7 times in a row and can be completely fine. And so the Ewok village, like I want it in my kitchen. It's a whole diggity dang thing. And then like I guess the cryptic one is that in 2013 there was like this weird promo of like Yoda's, I don't know, like little thing. It doesn't matter. There's a little girl Padawan in it. Oh. And it's like a $200 set for like less than 400 pieces, and I just like can't justify it. But I just want her so bad. I need her in my life. And then not common, but I think the best theme in the entire world is city animals. I know that's not technically a theme, but still.
I've just checked in with my consultant, and apparently the something in it does not have it. The Padawan does not have exclusive parts if you want to part it out.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Consultant.
My Lego sensei. Thank you.
Exciting.
I just can't. Why are you like this? You know, I feel like so. I love Hate Sans so much.
I feel like Sans gets that a lot.
And I think that we have a mutual relationship because I know Sans at least hates me. But I hope he hates me the way that I hate him. I feel like we're long lost twins.
Sans gets that a lot too. I think a lot of people also have that experience.
Yeah. He's so I love him. Love hate.
This is a spectacular white whale set, though. To be fair,
thank you.
It's cool, and I like it.
And then, but the other thing is that like that set has like weird holographic. Maybe it's just stickers, but there's like it looks holographic on the inside. I don't know.
What?
Sans will know everything. I know nothing except for that female Padawan is the love of my life. That sounds creepy. It's not supposed to be. The best theme in the world is city animals.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. I will die on that hill. Specifically, the cows. I'd like to come to you for your PSA of the day. If you have a cow and you want to make me less depressed, this is better than Lexapro, bro.
Look at the
These-
little horns.
I
No,
spent
isn't it
money
cute?
I don't have to obtain this cow.
I really want one. So cute.
Okay, there's longhorns too. They were only released in 2 city sets. It is ridiculous. This one, it came from like a big farm city set in like 09-ish. And then they have the longhorns, which came in a train set. It's like the cargo train set. And luckily, somebody in the lug has that train set, and they've like teased me about it. But I want like 700 of these cows. I want a herd, and they're like $40 a piece.
$40.
Ooh.
40 money dollars. Okay. I will
Unheard
go
of.
bankrupt on fake cows.
Fake cows.
There are worse things.
I
Worse
literally
things.
like when I die, I want to be incinerated with my cows. I want no one else to have them. Like they're going with me
You
to
get
the
mad.
afterlife, just like Egyptian lore.
Look, this is legally binding. You said it on stream. We were all here
I
to
have.
witness
This is
it.
my will and testament. Thank you for coming.
Yes. We're now obligated to make sure that this happens for Michaela. So if
Thank
for some
you.
reason Michaela's loved ones resist her final wishes, it is the job of this panel to aggressively make sure they happen.
Yeah, hollow out my body, sell my organs. They're not going to be worth much. I don't care what happens. Just incinerate my carcass with my cows.
Got it.
That's
Got
all
it.
I care about.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got, can you show me the one in the chat? Alice asked something.
Wait,
But what?
will you please pin Zan's comment?
Which one? Zan is on fire right now.
I
Zan
know.
is consistently
fun.
fire in
The
our
joke
chat.
one.
Zan is always
Good.
the funniest in the
Good.
chat.
She's so funny.
The
I
one
love
where Zan's just saying, "Look at the moo cow." 'Cause
No.
the
Fun.
on top of it.
Fun.
The pun.
Wrong. The utterly insane one.
Oh, Lord.
I love it.
Where is
Oh,
it?
Zan speaks my language.
Where is
Ah,
Zan?
it's recent.
You know what? It's been ruined. It's fine.
You guys
You're
are
perfect, Zan. Don't change.
delightful in the chat, by the way. Everybody is being so pleasant and so awesome and supportive in the chat.
true.
Thank you all for your delightful presence and also for your interesting questions. And this is good. Now Zan's just saying, like, yeah, that's it. That's meta. That's meta. That's what.
Yeah.
Captain Zan, I love you so much. You're ridiculous. Someone, Alice was asking. So Alice, I saw earlier, and welcome, Alice. Megan actually specifically said that they were new to Lego and like excited about seeing a lot of women into Lego, which is very cool. And I am so delighted that you feel welcomed by this. Please do feel very welcomed. Absolutely. Because Lego is for everybody. And Alice was saying, have you ever had people be judgmental that you're into Lego? You ever gotten side-eyed? You gotten like everyone, look at. Some people are like, I don't stand for that in my life.
Your
And some people
husband's
are like, yes.
I actually have a fun story that happened today about that.
Emily, tell me.
I have a story. Okay, so I was at Bricks and Minifigs, and they know us pretty well there because we're there like at least twice a week. We're there all the time. But they got a new person there. And like they're all really sweet, like no offense to them or anything, but the new guy, he had never met us before, like he doesn't know about the YouTube or anything like that, because like why would he? But I was going and looking at the friend stuff and the elves and the dragons, and I was like, oh, those are cool. Like I was just kind of like looking at them, and he's like, oh, is your daughter into Friends? And I was like, I am. The other employee was like, no, she this is for her. She likes the Lego.
Wow.
I don't think he was judgy. I don't know. He just assumed that, like.
I have a
for
very
me.
similar story from a week ago. Very similar. I got a lot more aggro than you did, though.
In a shocking turn of events, we're now going to see some of the options when selecting from the menu of how to handle that kind of nonsense. Because the world is full of nonsense, Emily. This is a very good example. Very good example. Claire, please
I can't.
I'm so excited.
So I am gonna do a video on it because it's like, you know, part of the fluff for the haul. But like I was at the Lego store. I went pretty quickly, pretty aggressively because I heard that wave 1 of Monkey Kid was 20% off. So, and when I say aggressively, I mean aggressively. And so I parked and like booked it. Like, yeah, like I don't even usually go to the Lego store without Sans. I was like, I don't care. Bye. Like I'm going. And and he was like, you know, good for you. And anyway, so I get there and I've got my mask on. And then if you guys know, the Monkey Kid section is in like a corner. It's usually like in the back corner. And in a lot of those mall stores, it's kind of like you're kind of trapped between like the pad wall is to my left, the Monkey Kid is in front of me, and then the Star Wars like return wall, you know, is to my right. I'm looking at the sets. Immediately I get a store employee behind me. Hey, can I help you? And then there's another one and another one. And all of a sudden there's 3 dudes that are taller than me making a half circle around me, blocking me in. Okay. And just some backup. I'm claustrophobic. Like I'm very claustrophobic. I can't deal with elevators. I have to look in the back. If I'm in like a room, I like will book it. I was in the pyramids and I had a panic attack. I like can't deal. Just like subtle flex there. My God. Anyway. And so I ended up turning and then they're like, hey, can we help you? Are you buying Monkey Kid? Like, who is this gift? Are you buying Monkey Kid for somebody else? Like, who is this? Who are you buying for? Is this like who? And it was like, and they were all saying the same thing, and it was like multi-layered. And so it was like coming at me. And I was like, I'm buying it for myself. Is there a problem with that? And like, anyway, and they're like, absolutely not, ma'am. Absolutely not. And because like Lego store employees have excellent customer service and are really sweet people, and they're like usually pretty dorky dudes. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I did not mean for this to happen. It was like very much like just a total gut reaction because I was afraid and I was backed up into a corner.
Yes.
And I ended up getting like a set that wasn't supposed to be 20% off. I ended up getting a ton of gifts with purchase that I probably shouldn't have. And as I'm walking out, they were like throwing more poly bags into my bags, being like, we're so sorry, ma'am. Like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I felt bad. Like I felt guilty. I felt like I stole from the Lego store.
More stuff.
No, I love it. We did. Also,
is that a problem?
They were probably like, did they not circle the survey at the bottom of the receipt like that one time? That's the only time they didn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't tell me to do a survey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dan is right. This is a life hack. This is not just this is a life hack.
No, because this is how you don't want to turn into there's a fine line between Karen and having like a very like, you know, defense mechanism reaction. Yeah.
You have like a trauma response.
Absolutely.
Self-selected to be the distraction for our heist plan. Cece will hack into the mainframe. Claire will be the main distraction by the end of the stream.
I think I'm the muscle is what I'm understanding. I think I'm coming in rage with like my hair on fire is what's happening.
I love it.
That all feels right.
I'm sorry, are we getting like the visuals of the coming Claire Monopoly Mega Boss
as a villain?
Fire hair.
The new movie Cruella. I think it's gonna be my origin story. It's like getting abused at work and then like reacting to it. I don't know. I'm actually not sure if that's what the story is. It seems like it is from the previews.
I'll tell you guys later.
Like, what's that, Cece?
Oh, I think we're gonna go see that after the stream.
Are you?
Yeah.
Report back in the group chat. Let us know if it's worth. I need to know. I need to know this.
Will do.
Also, if it like wasn't obviously perceived, and I know we have so many lovely gentlemen in the chat, please, when you are in multiples, it is terrifying. Just do not crowd anybody. Like, just
men in real life.
Stand like this in the corner. Especially if a woman's alone, just like don't.
I was like,
don't.
in the chat.
Be like, hey. Yeah, no. Just like if you don't already practice like understanding that women are threatened by like a bunch of dudes, it's impolite to corner people, period. And then 2, like, recognize that even if you're like a sweet nerdy Lego boy, sometimes you can be scary if you come in sets.
Don't come in sets.
Don't come in sets.
Yeah.
No, it's also like a customer service thing. Like we were at Bricks and Minifigs
Yes,
like a
it
couple
is.
weeks ago, and like there was this really nice guy. He'd like clearly it was his first job. He was in high school. You know, you couldn't see his eyes because his hair was like so low. He was just like, and he was like tall and gangly and like didn't know how to like how to carry his shoulders and stuff. He was just like a sweet guy, but he was like hooked on we went with Doug, and he would just like follow us around, and it was like there's like a delicacy of like giving the customer space to like think about it, and they end up buying more when you go back and forth. Right. And I probably would have dropped a few $100s. I didn't buy a thing. I walked into a Bricks and Minifigs and didn't buy a thing because I was overwhelmed by this high schooler who was like on top of me. You know what I mean? It was just like anyway, but he also irritated everybody. It was yeah.
If he's new, that's just a skill you have to learn. When you do
is.
customer service, you have to learn how to like vibe people and be like, okay, they want to be left alone, or these people want a lot of attention and want to talk,
Have you guys ever seen those that they do this in Korea where like at your table, you press a little button if you want the server to come and interact with you? And I asked the server about it once and they were like, we love it because we never have to bother you. We just, because at first it felt rude a bit to be like, don't look at me or something. But they were like, no, it's really nice because we'll just come over and say hello when you need something. There should be like a hat or like, like leashes you can get dogs that are like, don't pet me, I'm nervous. You should get like a lanyard.
That would be great.
At entrance to a sense, like I'm nervous.
I have one of those.
Yeah. Just on all this.
Don't come near me. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I need that vest.
I need that vest.
I think with retail stores, it's a little bit different too, because I've done both retail and like restaurant work. And with retail stores, they have people coming in and they're like judging you, and they submit feedback basically on what people are doing in the store for customer service. So they're trained basically to overreact to everything and do everything that they can, because if you happen to be this person that's going to like be grading them, then
Yeah, it's like an overcompensation. Yesterday we were at a restaurant where like there was like 6 of us at dinner, and a bunch of us had ordered flat water, a bunch of us had ordered like sparkling water, and they didn't like leave the bottles at the table. But we all had discussed afterwards, like we didn't say anything during it, but like I think they interrupted us 25 times mid-conversation to be like flat or sparkling. And it was like one of those places that was like excessively had so much service that it like didn't, it was like over the top, and like it didn't fit with like the food and the cost and the environment, and it was just like totally out of place, and it ended up kind of like ruining the experience. And then we ended up finding out that like they did something that like you only really find in Europe, where they kind of like sneak in the like paying for the flat water. Like they're like, do you want flat or sparkling? And a lot of us were like flat. Turns out we were paying for bottled water. And like at the end of the day, it was like $18 on the thing. And like that doesn't really happen in the US that often. Yeah. And then like the chicken wasn't, anyway, I don't need to go into the restaurant, but if you're in Palo Alto, stay away from Taverna.
Claire is airing grievances on the screen. And we're getting things done.
I was a Yelp reviewer for a while. I had a Yelp Elite in Denver when I was in grad school. It was awesome.
Amazing.
The power.
I love that little flex. That's perfect.
Incredible. I do want to, Zan actually asked, cancel Taverna. Yes, Kevin, very good. Captain Zan asked me earlier if you want to see Lego make another set that empowers girls or boys in the same vein as the Women of NASA set. And what would you think it would be? Which I love. I friggin' loved the Women of NASA set. Is there
I don't have it, and I'm sad.
You don't have it? I would share mine with you. It's beautiful.
Can we do the sisterhood with that set?
We can do the sisterhood of the traveling.
Because I'll take it.
Absolutely. I would 100%. I feel a deep desire to like handle and interact with Lego and like put it together. I do not feel a desire to own most of it. Most of it, I don't feel like I have to control it. and like have it on it, which I think is a distinction of like, I am a Lego aficionado and admirer. I don't think collector is actually the right word. I don't feel like I want to like do the thing, build it, see what it looks like. And then I want it to like go back into the world somehow. So I'll do the library thing and I'll send all my stuff. But if you were going to do like a women, like some theme or empowering, who would you want? Who do you want? I off the top of my head, I thought of like 30 different ones that I wanted, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
Honestly, they already made my number one. Margaret Hamilton. I like love her. And we have her in the NASA set. So I'm happy.
Her little stack too, like the way that they replicated that iconic photo of her next to the stack of code, like it's also so beautifully done. Like they nailed it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, same. I wanted a Wonder Woman mech.
Oh my god.
I want to be able to put Sig Fig Brenna into a Wonder Woman mech. So
I can't remember which video of yours it was, or maybe it was a live stream, Emily, where you talked about like when you were doing your coding and you had that little minifig there and how like that was like inspirational for you.
Yeah. No, I loved that because at my old job I just did programming for like 8 hours every day. And I had my Women with NASA set, but I had Margaret Hamilton there specifically like in the middle because I was like, you know, she's really impressive. She did some crazy coding and I just can't even merge 2 data frames. Like this is just really basic stuff. How is this not working? And it was kind of neat too, because my coworkers would be like, is that Lego? Like, what is that? That's kind of cool. And I would just be like, yeah, it's like the Woman of NASA. Isn't that neat? So it was always kind of a nice conversation starter.
You used to get that. You had a couple of sets in your old job, and it was like a decorative, like Ashley did the build of the White House, and then accidental drop test, I guess. Right? That video is awesome. It's still on the channel, and it's really fun. But you had a lot of people asking about. There was other stuff in there too. What else was in there?
I had the I can't remember it was the smaller Statue of Liberty.
The little like cute.
Yeah, what are they called?
Chibi?
Brickhead.
Brickhead.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're participating in the Lego.
We're doing it. We know the things. We know the names. This is like the least judgmental panel of people you'll ever find. They've tolerated so much of my ignorance and nonsense. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I had that on my desk and a little Frodo holding a giant carrot.
That's adorable.
And people will come and be like, what? I'm like, it's Lego. Get on board.
Get on board.
Or go home.
Get on my level.
I don't know.
Does anybody else have like a day? Like, I know we don't go a lot of places. We don't go in the outside, right? The outside is like, okay, I don't know if you'll remember. It's like kind of hot. It's buggy right now, but it's on the other side of live stream out beyond the walls. There's this thing. It's called the outside. Do you have like a workspace or like a not your live stream or your hangout space that has Lego displayed in it? Like, have you ever had anybody like creeper notice? Your Cece and Michaela are both like, yes, absolutely, I have it. What do you have, Cece?
I have like the Valentine's Day bear from last year, and so that's on my desk, as well as Dumbledore from the Series 2 Harry Potter minifig. And who else is there? I think that's pretty much it. But I have like some pop figures and things like that. So a few other nerdy things, Rubik's Cube and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
I created my family in minifigures, so I made them all sig figs because of the pandemic. It's gonna sound really sad. I'm fine, but I haven't seen my family in over a year and a half because of the pandemic. It's just made it impossible to go between the Netherlands and England. So I made them all in little sig fig form. So I got them all to sign off if they thought they looked enough like them. So I have them all sitting in a little display next to my desk, as well as Hedwig and stuff. But like that means quite a lot to me. That sits like next to my computer when I'm doing work and stuff.
That's such a good idea.
I love that.
On the topic of like what what sets we would like to have. I would really like just a general like fantasy authors or like amazing authors. If we did just authors, I'd just go like Virginia Woolf and us, like Kayla Gwynn, and this. I mean, no, that's not going to this list. It's going to be too long. But those two like come top of mind at the moment. But many awesome women authors.
Oh, I love that idea.
I think, could you imagine, and like, our artists and architects like Frida Kahlo and like Zaha Hadid, like her hair is like totally wild, and like that would be so cool.
That would be incredible. Oh my gosh, I would love. I'm already like imagining mosaics in my head. That would totally work. Oh my gosh.
I think it would be really wonderful because I think there's something about Lego that, you know, there's like the whimsy, the wonder, but I think inherently because it's a toy, we kind of have this, like, I don't want to say hero worship, but it's very hero centric, right? So I think about like heroic women, like specifically I'm thinking of like Josephine Baker and like the like multitudes of ways that she helped during World War I, and also like her artistic side. I think there's like that dichotomy that's really beautiful, and then it's not talked about enough. And I think it would be really cool to kind of like daring women. I think that would be amazing.
Well, and that, like, when I think about the reaction that I had even just to the Amelia Earhart set, like that was one of the ones that I was like, it's not just that I want to build this, like I want to own it and display it in my house. And I want my 3-year-old niece to recognize it as a toy and ask about it as an object and ask about it as a person, which is this like beautiful, perfect bridge that Lego builds. Yes, it's a toy. You can put together, you can handle it, you can drop it, you can break it, you can put it back together, and it'll be fine. And also, let me tell you about this incredible human that it is depicting while we play with this toy, which is a lot more interesting than like, I need you to learn about lady heroes, you know? Yeah. Tech just suggested a women in music set.
That would be awesome. Like Tina Turner. Huh.
Yes.
I'd love that.
Oh,
I'm just thinking of all the hair pieces. Like that'd be so cool.
Same.
The Beehive that just came out, if we don't get a Dolly Parton minifig, I think I would cry. That also immediately makes me want to make a Dolly Parton minifig.
Tech would be so into that.
I think that is your destiny, Michaela. Oh my gosh, look at, and speaking of Flamoti, Team Flamoti, Joanna, this is adorable.
Like, it's the same Beehive. I just thought I'd show you, and it's not. I just really like this, like.
Amazing.
She's so sassy.
That's going to be me in Florida in like 2 years.
I knew it.
Florida Granny.
Madonna. Yes, Greg. Madonna.
Yeah, like all the different, so in Halloween in high school, my group of friends, which was like the volleyball team, we all dressed up as like different versions of Madonna over the years. It was so much fun. So much fun. Yeah.
That actually, has Lego ever done, I don't know if this exists, but like a single person over the course of an evolution or a course of the career? Yeah, Beyonce, immediately. I want a whole minifig set of like Beyonce looks.
Just a CMF series of Beyonce.
That would be the monetary value. Like that would be probably the best investment set you could ever get as well.
But do you feel like I'm just thinking about like logistic. Beyonce feels to me like one of the only people so powerful that they would be like, I'll make my own Lego company. And build it. I mean, you know, like Beyonce would do
some people have done it. Some people like like I think there's like a Will.I.am, and then Eminem did one. So right. Like, what else is there?
Eminem
was an official figure.
Will.I.am was with Citizen Brick, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, Will.I.am is official, and
really?
Eminem is custom.
It was done by a third party that passed out through a Lego event.
Oh.
So is that part of, like, when we're talking about this evolution of something, like, there's definitely a weird middle ground that Lego seems like it's trying to stay within, where there are sets that are very much marketed towards adults and specific fandoms and specific collectors versus ones that like are absolutely open to everybody, but they're still like perceived as being for kids. Is that ever, do they ever get backlash for that? If they're like, we're going to make a figure of this or like something that's not specifically, I want to like air quotes child friendly, knowing that, oh my gosh, Minaj.
I'm assuming it will always have to like sit right with our brand values, which, like, you know, with any company, like any bigger company, they always have like 3 or 4 sentences that if you're making a product, they have to like tie in with those values, which is possibly why we don't see some like things that people would really love to see in Lego, like Game of Thrones, come in, because they're just not really, they don't align with what they stand for, basically. You know, we all know why. So I feel like, yeah, the person that they make into Lego would have to adhere to those brands, like fit in with that company ethos, I guess.
Danny, can I please just see your progress? That little flyby was spectacular. Look at
This
look
is
at
my little land shark right here.
Yeah.
It's honestly, have you guys built the NASA Discovery Shuttle? It's got one of these fins on top. The build is really similar, but it's going to go on there like that. And yeah.
Is that it in the corner behind you? I think I can see it. Your setup's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. It's my little space corner right there. Amelia is also on the shelf. You guys were talking about her.
She would have gone to space if she, you know, given a different era. 100% think that's what she would have ended up doing. Yeah, gorgeous. Love that. Just as an adorable, like, shout out to Equinox Bricks. The first question that came in, like, when I redid my whole Insta stories was, can this happen more often with like raging enthusiasm? And it made my heart happy. It was very, very sweet. That's an adorable question. Thank you. The Amazing Brick also wanted to know how everybody got into Lego. And I'm hearing everybody keeps referring to the dark ages, which is like puberty comes along and you like sell all your sets. Is that what happens? Is that the dark ages essentially? Lauren says no.
I never sold mine. I hung on to those things like they were a lifeline.
Fair.
Yeah, I left them at my parents' house. But when I went to college and then I went right to grad school, so it was like 7 years of school, I didn't buy anything. And then I occasionally got the architecture sets for like gifts because I'm an architect. It's like quite obvious gift giving for people. So I enjoyed those and I like had them in my dorm room and people like thought that they were cute and stuff. And like that was the extent of it. But then when I got out of grad school, I was like, I had so much time on my hands and nothing to do.
Did anybody get the balance? Like, when do you hit the balance of like, you realize, oh, this is going to be a thing. Like, this is going to be a thing that I'm into, because there's a few sets that I remember when we first started doing this channel. I was like, oh yeah, like I like this. This is interesting. I like how they go together. And then the more I learned, there was a couple of like, oh, I might really need to know more about that. And it was specifically because of like a particular set or a particular theme or something that really resonated. Did any of you guys have that? Like, Danny's nodding vigorously. Did that happen, that you like fell over the cliff? What was the cliff?
Yeah,
like a good cliff.
Yeah, it was a great cliff, honestly. I have it on display in my room. Like I said, I was getting a few sets here and there last year, and I was like, I really enjoy this. It was Christmas, and I decided that I was ready for a big girl build, and I got the Imperial Star Destroyer VCS set. And I was like, it's going to be for like my brother and the nephews, and we can like build it together. That never happened. 19 hours later, I had my first ever UCS set, and that's what put me over the edge.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I think there just comes a time when you're into Lego or you're starting to get back into it that you cross a threshold, especially in price. I think once you've gone to a place where you're willing to spend $200 or $300 or euros on a Lego set, you're already making it a serious thing, I think, at that point.
Right. That's a fair point, Sarah. Like, and to the like semi joke about the big girl set, but when you decide you're like, no, I'm investing in this, I am going to enjoy it with my adult money, and it is for me, never mind my stupid nephew or whoever.
Yeah, I bought the like the Hogwarts microscale like some years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, because I kind of kept regretting that I got rid of all my Harry Potter Lego, and it was kind of like a continuous regret that like every now and then it just came up to myself like, oh, why did I do that? And I did kind of pick up like brick heads and the first Harry Potter CMF, sort of like really low key. And then I got that really big set because I got like a new job in a new area, and I was like, I'm just gonna this is like my reward for getting this. And I thought, you know what, that's going to fill that hole of like wanting Harry Potter Lego, and it's going to just make up for the fact I got rid of everything. So then I didn't kind of buy anything for ages, and then I found the Room of Requirement set on offer in a local supermarket, and I picked it up and I built it at home, and all of a sudden I was like, do you know what, I'm really enjoying this. It's so therapeutic. And the moment I admitted that to myself is the moment it was like, Ben, we're going to the Lego, like we're going to the store tomorrow, we're buying the burrow, and then it just snowballed from there so hard. And you can literally see that on my channel happening, like from like a little display cabinet to a room.
I love it. There's also a ton
if you're redesigning your space in your house, if you're like doing shelves or moving things around your room, you're definitely getting to that point as well. If you're like, I need to move all this stuff around because I need to put my Lego here. This stuff needs to go because I need it for Lego. Then you're definitely getting to the investment point of like
if you're
making
selling,
space for your life.
Yeah. If you're buying or selling furniture to make room for it, that's the key.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
Sarah's so right though, that you like start viewing things as like, this is an impediment. All of it has to go, or I gotta reconfigure. True.
I like did this like really like over COVID. I remember driving back from Target and I like didn't buy a couple sets. And over the years I had bought like 1 or 2 sets, like, every year, like since I could afford it. And I would just kind of build it sometimes and like just like put it away, be really quiet about it. And then I was driving back from Target and I had seen the burrow and like a couple other things. And I was like, what am I? And I try to do this exercise a lot. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I waiting to do later in life? Like I'd always like, I remember before I like bought my apartment, I was like, I thought I was like waiting to have a partner to do it with, or am I waiting? And I realized I was waiting to really dive into Lego deeply until I had kids. And then I was like, okay, even if I like give birth or adopt tomorrow, like the kid isn't going to be old enough to play with it for like another few years. We're stuck in Duplo land for a while. Right. So I might as well enjoy it now before doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, and then I just think, I don't know. I recommend doing that exercise, being like, am I waiting to do something until I get to this like arbitrary stage in life later that may or may not happen? And if you're doing that, I think that's like, you're doing a disservice to yourself, because it's like planning for something that, doesn't actually exist in any way at all. It's like it's like a projection, and it's like a storytelling that you're only deluding yourself about. So I don't know.
Totally. Well, Emily, you touched on that a little bit. I remember when you put out the video, and it was the perfect YouTube video because it just said, I quit, and like this crazy like expression. And it was all about like, okay, we're going to make YouTube a thing. Here we go. This is crazy. And that it was like a moment that you were like, okay, like this is actually something, and I want to give it that time. I want to give it that space.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it only goes up from here, right? Like the channel can only go up. Yeah. And so we were like, you know what? Let's just do this. Like, my old job wasn't really a good fit on its own anyway. So I didn't quit the job for YouTube. That would be kind of crazy, but the job wasn't really a good fit. So I was like, you know what? This is really fun and we're doing all right. Like, let's just do it. And it's been a blast so far. Like, just try and put out more content. It's like a little stressful, but overall it's just, yeah, I love it.
Did you guys find Jamae, you mentioned this just briefly, but the way that you have to sort of like you're now planning reviews and sort of like thinking through builds and having to like the thinking work of what you're going to build or what you're going to release, or the timing of what you have to not have to focus on, but just there's like more than just, I feel like doing this today, I'm going to drag it out. Has that been good, bad, hard, easy, both, neither?
I think having structure for me is really important, because otherwise there is no stopping point. And I think that's a good piece of advice for everybody, is to like have a budget and like have a plan for when you bring something home. That's kind of actually a house rule that we have, is that like there needs to be a plan, whether it's taking apart a set to put away to like have a new one and then like selling it or doing something else. Or, right now what we've done is like, again, talking about like the threshold of like, when is it now a thing in your life? It's like when you start to prioritize it over other things, I think is super important. So my office, which is our second bedroom, is also now my Lego room. So now I'm going to be investing all this like money in display space, storage space, like all this stuff that you could kind of casually, do with boxes at the back of the closet. But as soon as you start to be like, I have to be thoughtful and like smart with my space, and my money. And that's a point of no return, I think. Or, of admitting that like, this is important to me, so I'm going to treat it like it's important to me.
Yeah.
So getting back to like buying, I think, for me, I get sets to review, and I like don't keep the boxes because they have the big stickers on them that say like not for sale. So I'm like, well, I can't do anything with these sets anyway. I'm going to just part it out, keep it for myself.
Right.
So it's just parts. But then my other sets where I'm like, oh, I like the box. Like I like the presentation. I like the packaging. Like that's part of what I enjoy about it. So I have to account for that as well. And it's like, so for me, it's balancing the two now that that's changed, but it's a fairly recent thing. It's not even a year old for me to be thinking about it this way. And it definitely changed, during lockdown and being in my space constantly. And like right now, my Hogwarts castle that I built is just sitting on the floor right next to me because there is nowhere for it to go because it is enormous. And I wanted to build it when I was recovering from surgery. And now it has no place. Like it was sitting on the table that I'm now using to stream and build something else. So
right.
It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, it's a constant balance. And we talked about that in Michaela's like mental health, thoughtful bricks stuff. And I think that's important.
I was just going to say, if you guys haven't, anyone in the chat, if you haven't checked out the news segment that Michaela did, Jamae and I got to hang out on there. CC got to hang out with us. Emily, were you there for a little bit too? It's all blurring together to the thoughtful bricks. Maybe not.
I think it was Claire.
Oh, it was Claire that was in there. And that idea of like thinking about Lego in terms of mental health and like especially during quarantine and lockdown. I actually want to ask Michaela about that, but just so you know, I'm Bored Toys and Captain Zan. I can see you talking about number of likes in my periph and like me singing and whatever. Singing to you on the internet is not like, that's not something that bothers me. Like I'll joyfully sing for all, we can sing whatever you want. That's no problem. I screamed Lizzo. I did terrible things to a Taylor Swift song during the Whisper Challenge on the last Other Toy Tuesday. And I'm not sorry. I'm not ashamed. I'm not upset. I'll do it again.
No regrets.
They should be careful though, because they can get other people to sing and it could be awful.
It could be.
You know, like you think singing is embarrassing. I will show you embarrassing.
Michaela, I want to point out, like I wasn't singing like it wasn't cute. Like it wasn't pretty. No. I was scream singing. I was celebrating everything that is Swiftie, and she would not want it. She would not want any of it.
She would love it.
She would support it.
She probably
would
would
be like, she's living her best life. She's living her best life. Inspired by my art.
But also, I'm going to copyright strike that.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Also,
please take it down.
I am a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so dead on that I know Captain Zan and Kevin are just like Zan and Kevin are always in cahoots in the chat. They think I don't notice. I always notice. I always see you. Always see. Oh my gosh, Hooded One. I like this question. Ladies, what's the largest number of loose bricks you ordered? Just curious. Because I received, what is that? How do you say that? 188. Somebody knows for numbers.
500.
18. Was that you, Jamae? 18,000.
Yeah, 18,500.
One by one play. Okay, so talk about subtle flex. Let's talk about a subtle flex. Oh, Christian, I love you so much, Christian. I'll sing for you anytime. What do you want? Do you want a French song, Christian? I'll sing a French one just for you. Well, at the top of my lungs, and all of these lovely, lovely humans here on the chat will have to endure that. They'll have to endure that, which they'll be very polite about. But Michaela, you started the Thoughtful Bricks specifically to talk a little bit about where Lego intersects with mental health. Was that partly because of pandemic vibes and because of like living the good lockdown life? And Lego played into that, or was it separate from that?
Yeah, so I talked about it a little bit in the first one. Small plug, the next one will be this Thursday. So I didn't get, it also kind of addresses your earlier question. Like I didn't get into Lego until November of last year.
Right.
And so for me, like it was purely an escape and then purely a way to combat a type of like unhealthy addictive behavior that I had developed. Right. So I got this guy right here. I actually like keep him on my desk. And this is this is my favorite build because I just thought it was so brilliant when I was putting it together. I was like the underbuild on the inside, like that structural technic build. I was just like so blown away at like putting these panels on and like in a very sculptor-esque way. It was so satisfying for me. So although this is like a very new build, it's like not, you know, the hottest head on the block. That's my favorite build. And part of that is because it was like something that I intentionally bought pseudo impulsively to combat this like addictive behavior where I was getting too like emotionally invested in this stupid game. And so for the mental health, like I've always struggled with my mental health, and that was the it was like a very physical manifestation of me trying to address my mental health with Lego. And because I had never played with Lego in my entire life before that Stormtrooper bust, I also had like no trauma linked to Lego.
Right.
And because I'm a research brain human, I immediately think of like, you know, someone's doing science about this, right? And they are. And so I'm like very open to talking about my mental health. And I think it's like really important to talk about mental health. And so for me, it just felt like bricks clicking together very literally. Of something that like needed to be destigmatized, something that like we can become more comfortable talking about. And yeah, thanks for coming to my soliloquy. I have feelings.
Listen, if you have not done so, give yourself a treat and check out The Thoughtful Bro. I found it incredibly lovely and supportive and cathartic, and it was also a very, Michaela's got chops when it comes to like facilitating a room like that. And you did a great job of handling what could have been like kind of a draining, exhausting conversation. It wasn't helpful and nourishing and uplifting, which was
all of the loves. Y'all, if anybody's ever interested, shoot me a message. I love having all different experience and thoughts and vibes in that type of discourse. It's important to have.
It was good. It was good vibes. Also, I think our new rule is, it looks like Emily is vehemently refusing to sing. So guys, if you really like, if you want to pester someone, like you don't, Emily, I'll do all your singing for you. How's that? If they're whining about you not singing, you can like turn on the mic and I'll just pipe in and I'll make it so I'll like sing as violently and terribly as I possibly. I'll try to make it upsetting. Bricky Ty wants to know, question for the panel, how many years, if any, was everyone's dark ages in Lego? Okay, wait, but somebody tell me, but dark is when you're like, you're not into
Lego.
When you're not, because is it because you're being cool? You know what I mean? Like when you're a horrible little body and you're upset. Exactly.
It's different. It's different for everybody for their reasoning, but a lot of people, like a lot of like little boys and stuff, it's because you're, you know what I mean, or like you could discover girls or guys or whoever, you know, you discover whoever you're trying to flirt with, and then, you know, I don't know. I think like. For me, it was like, I'll shame myself, I guess. I didn't really have a dark age. I was mostly like ashamed of it. Not necessarily ashamed of it. Like, you know, I was in like an academic and professional environment that honestly would have probably been really accepting of it. But I had just assumed that it wasn't. And I just like kept it to myself. And it's just like, and even like, I have told people in my life that I'm back into it and I'm like doing the YouTube thing, and there has been a lot of judgment passed. They're like, you know, like, why would you do that? That's like, you know, not intellectually stimulating. And it's like, why would someone make that assumption about something they don't know? You know what I mean? And it's like very common for a lot of elitists to be like that. So anyway, that's mine.
Is that your side? That's your equivalent of like when Alice was asking about people being judgmental about getting into Lego, people being like,
yeah, I have a lot of I've had a lot of judgment. I used to have a cosmetic YouTube channel, like I would talk about makeup and skincare, and it's something I feel really strongly about, or not strongly about, but I really enjoy it, and it's still like a passion of mine. And I was much younger when I did the content, so I knew I definitely didn't articulate myself the same way, and so I did this thing that probably a lot of us have done over time, where it's like you kind of intentionally and maybe unintentionally make yourself seem a little bit dumber by the way that you're not using your entire lexicon and vocabulary, because it's not particularly wanted to be heard. Right. And that was an environment that I was in at the time, and so that's why I hit all those videos. Regardless, anyway, at the time I was made fun of a lot by my peers for doing that, a lot. And then, so it is very difficult for me to get made fun of again here, to be like, well, why would you do that? But then, those voices are heard so much louder than the tenfold of the people that are supportive, which is unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And so, you have to be the one to shut that down. There's more people in my life are supportive than are not, but it's like you only hear the negative sometimes.
Right.
I think that's something. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
No, you.
No, I was just going to say, is there some research done about how play is actually really stimulating for people, and actually embracing play is really good for you? It's because I feel like, luckily, people don't really care what I do. I haven't told that many people about the YouTube, to be fair, but I told my mum, and she's like, yeah, whatever. Don't really know what it is. Good luck with it. But I've kind of felt like since I started doing Lego, I've never really been worried about people thinking it's weird, because I'm like, well, it's not your life, is it? If I'm in a play park and there's lots of kids around, if there's a swing free, I'll go on the swing, or it made me embrace more of the yeah, it's fine, we're all getting older, but we can still embrace the fun stuff. We don't have to become these 1950s housewives, fitting into this mold. We can be young and successful and smart and doing good jobs, but also be really silly and play. And I don't know if anybody watches Simply Neological. I really like her podcast where she also is yes, I do my serious stuff, but I have a really silly nail YouTube channel that I also do, and that doesn't make me less of a person. So
she's also in Ottawa, so we love Simply Neological. She's we love a local. Danny, can you just hold up? I want to look. Danny keeps doing the best of swooshes, and it's this subtle sneaky swoosh. I require more swoosh. Yes.
May I? Can I request swoosh noises? But too forward. Thank you.
Kid. I've only ever known being a kid.
Perfect.
I'm just lucky enough to have younger siblings and nieces and nephews to blame it on.
Oh my god! Winnie the Pooh entered the chat.
Did you not see Danny sneakily put that on the chair earlier?
I totally didn't get it. No.
Yeah, it was subtle, sneaky. It was subtle.
I loved
it. There's also, I just want to point out, hi Rosalie, our chat is the most lovely, supportive. You are all being so compassionate and so kind and so supportive of each other, and it makes my heart happy. Exactly, Sarah. This is exactly and also it speaks very highly of this illustrious panel that this is the type of people that you attract. You have all done a very good job of putting some rad energy out into the world, that this is who has showed up to hear your thoughts and look at your faces, because they knew I was going to be here either way. So they're here for you.
Actually, this is all just I'm Bored Toys clones. Very much. Kevin is Jango Fett. I want to know who his boba is, and then the entire chat is just clone army.
They all listen. If they're a clone army, I'm here for it, because they're doing a wonderful job of loving and supporting each other, and it makes me happy. That there's also a lot of love. Generally, a few people have sort of said or asked something along these lines, and I still want to hear if you have Dark Ages stories and coming through them, I want to know, because we got some good awkward out of that, and I yum yum.
Yeah,
I love that. If you've got your awkward phase story and coming back to Lego, I definitely want to know about that. Also, a lot of people are talking about the Lego community being Zan, I love your face. The Lego community being a big part of the appeal. Have you guys we touched on this a little bit in the thoughtful bricks. I think CC, you and I might have been talking about it a little bit, but just the idea of like that the Lego community was like, not that it's perfect wall to wall, that's not what I mean, but that there's really great, supportive, lovely people who are grown-ups that are like, yeah, let's get into the thing we're into and not be embarrassed about it and be excited about it and embrace play and embrace Lego being for everybody and all of those. Have you guys had that experience, or did you run into challenges like finding your niches in the Lego community? Did you have gatekeeping when you were entering into it, or were the doors held wide open? What do you think?
See, I mean, I said it then and I'll say it again. Like, Cece's a real one. Like, straight up. I know. I'm gonna call you out. Talk about making uncomfortable. One, we don't like compliment people enough, and that's why it's like that weird review type complex where like some place will have bad reviews, and it's because people have poo-poo experiences are the ones that verbalize them, but that like almost erases all the wonderful experiences. So if you're in the chat and you're not doing it, take the step to like compliment someone or acknowledge something they're doing great. It goes such a long way, even if it makes them uncomfortable, like you will see CC do right now. So CC's like a real one. Like she was here the whole diggity dang time, holding it down. And in terms of like being silly, I've always been a very silly person, but I've also been like, and still I say use, that's a joke. I'm also a very anxious person. And if I feel like I don't belong in a space, I'm not gonna wiggle my way into that space. And so I didn't feel hesitation to enter the space, specifically because I saw Cece and I saw Claire. And I know Claire came in later, but like I saw them in discourses together, and I was like, oh, there's like a sisterhood I could be a part of. Cool. Let me add it.
Right.
And like that went a really long way, and that's why visibility is so important. I think BFAB, someone had to mention him. Like, I think BFAB was like my only follower, and I saw the first ladies live stream, and I saw Cece there, and I saw Sarah there, and I saw Claire there, and I was like, I want to do that too, right? But specifically the type of discourse that Cece was having, it was, and like the even the Cali Brick Click, like that discourse, like that's my vibe, I'm like, okay, like that's my people are there, and I can do it.
Right.
And I like, yeah, Cece's a real one. What is the opposite of an F in the chat? How do you celebrate? Someone tell me how.
You embrace the F in the chat.
But I don't like, F is for fallen. What's the R in the chat for CC? That's the rising. R in the chat. That's how I feel.
YouTube needs
for outstanding
emojis.
Oh yes. Oh, for outstanding. Lots of emojis, all those things. But yeah, like you were here holding it down for a while and like holding that space and carving that space. All my love.
Thank you.
That is a very appropriate acknowledgement of a little bit of trailblazing probably that had to happen. So maybe I'd be curious, Cece and Claire, do you guys have that feeling of like being in a space where you did have to kind of muscle your way in a little bit and then having that shift or change? Was that part of your experience, or did it feel welcoming when you got there?
Cece, you go for it first, and then
yeah, I didn't feel like I really, if anything, I felt like I had to muscle to be noticed and acknowledged as a female in this space, because that is the the assumption that if your voice is high, then you're a 12-year-old boy. And if you watch my videos, like there's like a distinct point where I stopped just saying like, hi, welcome to the channel. And I'm like, hey, it's your girl Cece. Because I was like, no, acknowledge I am she. Like, And yeah, so like there wasn't really a space, I think, for females, at least when I came in. It was just kind of like a void. And so I was just like, okay, cool, I'm here. See me. And so yeah, that was that. And then just like slowly finding other women in the space, and it's like, hi, like you're here, I'm here. Cool. Are we friends? And then so like I saw Sarah and like went to her live stream, and Emily, and then someone, I think Emily told me about Claire, and seeing Jamae on Instagram, and Michaela as well. Like, so it was just like slowly acquiring each one of the Avengers kind of vibes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so like when I came into it, I would say there was I had a very positive experience, like because I came at like a certain time. Like Emily was already I'd like done the Instagram thing, and Instagram is like a very different landscape than YouTube, and it's like a lot more diverse, and there's a lot more women on there, and it's it's very different. But so with YouTube, I was always like a YouTube user, and I was like, I always like went, like when I had a hobby, I would go to YouTube and stuff, and that was like a thing. So I went to YouTube and I saw Holly, and I saw Cece and Emily and Sarah, and I was like, oh yeah, no big deal. And like I didn't even think about it. And then to be honest, like my friends, like some of the most welcoming people were like the people that you might not expect to be. And it was like Sands and BFAB and Tech and M&R Productions were like, all like, open arms, like wanting more, wanting to get to know me, and like wanting, to talk about like the relevant issues, and like Tommy C. Bricks. Like these are people that like, like you could put in a small box, but they were super, super open. And so, yeah, I would just a little shout out to them.
Yes.
Sarah, I know that you're like early era ladies of Lego too, but so much of your work has been streaming. What is your experience with it too?
I mean, I guess it's kind of weird because it also goes back to this whole like coming out of your dark age thing as well, where I've been into Lego since 2017, and the reason why I got into it was because I moved to a weird country. I'm American, so my partner is Dutch. And I moved to the Netherlands in order to pursue that relationship. And I don't know anybody here. And it's kind of weird and like different, and the language is different, and everything is weird and unfamiliar. So I think part of me wanted to get back into something that was familiar. And so Lego is something that doesn't really require like language. It doesn't really change no matter where you are. So it was something nice to get into. And then a few years after that, I didn't really have like my own thing, my own job, or my own real thing to pour my energy into. So my partner suggested that I start doing the YouTube thing about Lego, because we had actually met through YouTube for a different hobby that we both liked. And so he said, maybe you should do something with that, with Lego on YouTube. And I said, okay, that's something I can put myself into and really like meet people and put myself out there. And so I think when I started doing it, it was just, I don't know, I was already kind of in the chats beforehand, talking to people like Cece and some of the other people that were in the community, and sort of like, oh, hey, I see you, like, hi, you're a familiar face. This is nice. It feels like welcoming and nice to see these people that notice you, and you can talk to them and you notice them. So it's sort of like, when I started, it didn't really think about that it was not really full of other women yet, but it boomed quickly. I mean, just in the last year, we've gotten so many new people starting up, and I feel like every time somebody is just putting themselves out there, someone else sees it. It doesn't matter when you start. Like, you can start now, tomorrow, a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, and somebody will see you and say, hey, that's like me, or I want to do that, and you will inspire somebody to put themselves out there as well. So, yeah.
Very true. Visibility for the win. I'm curious, Danny, I think we talked
to you a little bit because you're sort of like this brand new channel that you kind of came into the space, not necessarily a new Lego fan, but recently started making content. Was there something specifically that spurred you to want to start documenting it and sharing it on YouTube? And what was it like entering it? Like, was that even at this point, did you have the thought of like, oh, I'm going to seek out other women, or just I'm going to see who's around all the time, or, oh, I notice all these people popping up in, like, you know, there's always the people in the, for me, it's the people in the chat. Like we see sort of the core people in a ton of the chats that make you feel really welcome. Did you have any of that experience, or was it completely different by the time you started your channel, which I think was around the same time as us, maybe?
Yeah. I know that I've always kind of wanted to do something on YouTube, but didn't really have something that I could consistently do that I knew I was going to be interested in, that had enough longevity to make it worth it.
Right.
And really over the last couple of years, I did a deep dive into all of the Star Wars lore. Like, I've always been a Star Wars fan, but I never went into Clone Wars, Rebels, and all the comics and all of that other stuff. I think I absorbed like 10 years of Star Wars content within a matter of like 18 months. And as that was all happening, I was watching like Star Wars Theory is probably like my number one. He's got like 3 million subs now, so he's like super huge. But I started watching him and I was like, there's so much happening in the Star Wars timeline, and it's only getting bigger with the addition of Mandalorian. And so it just made me want to get Star Wars Lego stuff more, because I was already interested in Lego, you know, like I said. But Vader's Castle specifically was one that was like really spurred the thought that, hey, I could actually like get these sets. I could actually like just make videos about them. I have some basic video editing skills that I've acquired over the years, especially with like other hobbies that I've had, like wakeboarding and wake surfing and various things.
Yeah.
And so I always did like videos with GoPro, and just for our family, like, hey, I made this video. Here's what we did. Here's, you know, here's the video. So I was like, hey, I can do some editing. I have some hobbies. I have some skills. Like, let me try to actually do this and see if it works. And Lego is like the perfect thing. And that was just more and more affirmed as I was seeing like the comments on the videos, everyone's positivity. And then I tried to do like my first live stream, and BFAB was definitely one of the first people that ever joined my live stream. So shout out to him. I know he's taking a break right now, so hope he is doing all right. But that just kind of confirmed it, that yeah, this is a good community. This is safe. Because if I were to go into, say, just like Star Wars content, like someone said earlier, it is oversaturated, and I don't necessarily just want to only talk about like Star Wars stuff, but actually getting to have hands-on building and doing something that has so many like niches within. Like,
yes,
the more I learn about Lego, like the marketing aspect, the different themes, and all of the themes within it, that like the considerations of how are you going to get these products marketed to customers, especially like us who have limited space and their shelves are filling up more and more and more. Like, what's the marketing aspects behind it? Because that's what I went to school for, and I find that just so interesting. So I actually really enjoyed Emily's video when she was talking about like the price of Star Wars Lego and the licensing behind it. And I was like, that makes so much sense. There's so much that you can do within Lego that I just felt this is the perfect thing. I really want to document the journey and also see if I can, you know, get better skills at actually like editing and making good content that people want to watch. So yeah, those are some things that I'm thinking about and working on for the future of the channel.
Well, it has been delightful so far. So far, it's been an absolute pleasure. Also, friends, if you haven't, go subscribe to Lego Danny Bob. DMCS has entered the chat. Hello, DMCS. And wants to know, what's the most badass thing you've all done in the Lego world? And what's something badass you're hoping to do in the future? I also just want to shout out DMCS because the most badass thing we got to do on our channel was tell everybody we were making t-shirts and like DIYing t-shirts because people wanted merch, and we were super excited, and we had wonderful, incredible, loving supporters who were like, yes, absolutely, not even knowing exactly how it's going to work or how much it's going to be or how long it's going to take. Yes, I want a t-shirt. And DMCS, speaking of badass, which stands for Do More Cool Shit, and it's a movement that basically just helps creatives do fun stuff, sent us a super chat so that we could pay for the t-shirts. Everybody that ordered a t-shirt super early upfront was like, I want a t-shirt, not even knowing about how you're going to do a t-shirt. DMCS made it so that we could just be like, guess what, guys? Surprise. We're going to make your t-shirts for free because you're great. So little shout out to the DMCS movement for making that little bit of badass in our little tiny corner of the internet popular. Could we maybe segue this question? Just a little curiosity. Has anyone in the panel ever been featured by Lego? Maybe we can go to New York Times after that, perhaps. I want to hear your badassery. Tell us. Cece's like, I guess. Okay.
Cece, that's all you.
Cece, this is your turn.
Okay. So, yeah, was featured in the New York Times. Actually got a lot of like quotes in there, so that was exciting. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like, Cece from Cafe Corner said Lego, and then like did just like something like that. It's like okay. Yeah, so there was that. It was featured on Lego's Facebook page for Black History Month as well. So that was pretty darn cool. Put up there with a bunch of other just amazing artists and creatives, and I was just like, I just sit in front of a camera. Like I don't know why I'm here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's the extent of my cool stuff.
That's quite the list already. Also, just the beginning.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a tale of badassery? Emily, you got to be in the New York Times article, which was bananas. I don't know. Would you say that that's your most badass? What do you think?
That was pretty cool. That was like, it's one thing if like, it's going to happen, but it's another thing to have someone be like, hey, like there's this like paragraph about you here, like go look.
Yeah.
That can't be right. That's weird. But no, that was just bizarre. And like reading through it, it was so cool. And it's something kind of nice too to share with people, to just kind of show like, this is what I do. Like, this is the Lego community. It's not just a kid's toy. Talking about AFOLs and just all of that stuff. It's like a really nice condensed, it kind of justifies it too. Because we all have those friends out there that are like, you play with Lego? That's weird. It's like, nope, New York Times, look at that. Like,
totally
legit now.
If y'all both don't have like as featured in the New York Times in all of your bios,
I didn't even think about that.
I don't want anybody else to use that except for
Edit's
y'all.
bio right now.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the verbal equivalent. Lauren just did the mic drop. That is the verbal social media equivalent to as featured in New York Times. I love that idea. Yes, very fair. DMCS coming in hot. Yeah, but Cece, just sitting in front of the camera is more than just sitting there. It is about inspiring others to not be afraid to do the things they love. That's so friggin' important. Y'all do that. All right, he can stay. I like him today. He's being real good and pleasant and nice today. Sometimes he's a real handful. We're going to keep him today. I like him.
Minding his P's and Q's.
He doesn't. He has shit in the movement line and title. It's not, there's no P and Q about that dude. It is very true though. Does anybody else have, even if you want to like shout out what you believe someone else's badassery to be, take a moment, think about it. Also, everyone, just, I'm big into like readying ourselves emotionally for the thing that's going to happen next. So I just want everybody to know in the chat, on the panel, soon, not yet, but soon, probably around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is another half hour with our lovely panel. We're gonna be wrapping up. We're gonna be saying goodbye. We're gonna go for about another half hour. Not yet, but soon. So if you need to like emotionally prepare yourself for that transition, I need lots of time to move from one thing to another. We can start to just gently, slowly, mindfully think about that happening. Not yet, but soon.
Brenda, have you ever been a teacher before?
I have.
Because I feel like you're such a good teacher. I'm like, she's such a good teacher. Like I can tell, like, have you worked with kids a lot?
I do. So my actual job is I'm an artist and an arts-based facilitator. So I work with like rooms of kids and grown-ups and all manner of people in like classrooms, boardrooms, whatever. And depending on how old they are, if it's kids, it's no problem because you can be like, we're going to use markers. And they're like, yeah, markers. And grown-ups are like, oh, I haven't used a marker in a really long time. And I'm not very good at markers. I'm not sure if I'm doing markers correctly. And most of my job is just to be like, I love what you're doing in your drawing. I love your drawing. You're doing a great job and it's amazing. And we're doing a great job together. So yes, that's true. I have done all this. I'm like a camp counselor in more of like a Muppet. More of a Muppet form. Yes. Thank you for that compliment. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
What's that, Emily? Emily, I see you. I don't hear you. What is happening? Why?
Oh, hey, I have a random shout out for people.
Yes.
A little compliment / shout out. So Johanna and Claire just got monetized, which is a huge deal. And that takes a lot of effort because not only do you have to get subscribers, but you have to get watch hours. So I remember for us, that was like, you know, a huge goal. Like that feels so good. So congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Agree. Did it feel like a grind, you guys? Was that like a long, slow incline, or was it just like natural? This feels like the time that it should happen. Also, DMCS, I see you. I see you in the chat. I see you in my periph. It's getting salty.
I think because I had I was on my sabbatical and like all my attentions were on YouTube at that time. I was watching like every hour, every subscriber, and like getting excited about it and like high-fiving Sans every time I got like one new subscriber, one new sub or something. And it was like, yeah. And I still do that. I still get really excited for that. So like last night I woke up and I got 5 new subs and I was like really happy about it. And so, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's great. Right now, like I was so burnt out from my job that it doesn't seem like a grind yet. But that's because I was like in such a bad place. Do you know what I mean? And so, but it's like, it's definitely like a lot of, it's like, if you start focusing on it, then it gets real hard. But yeah, I think it's a weird balance, right? Cause it's like, I don't know. We can literally talk about that for like an hour, but yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we were grinding, we were just like obsessed over it. Like, you know, every day it's like we would wake up like, oh my gosh, we got so many subscribers overnight. That's so cool. And then you get to 1,000 and it's like, how did this happen? That's crazy. Like 1,000 people. It's just like, I don't know. I just remember that. I just wanted to say congrats to you guys because a lot of people, it's something you don't really see. You know, it's not like, oh, you just hit 10K and like people see that. Monetization is a little different, but it's still a huge deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit insane. I think I hit the 1,000 subscribers, but then the watch hours weren't there, and a lot of people were saying about streaming, but I'd been really worried. Like, I genuinely was like, I don't think I can fill even an hour just talking. Like, what am I going to do? So I was really, really worried about it. But I was like, do you know what? Like, this whole channel is about doing new things. Let me just try it. And actually, I found out that I really enjoyed it. And like, even like, I did a stream randomly on Friday. And I was feeling like really tired. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I went to the stream and I got really energized from it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this is something that I really needed in my life. I love this. So yeah, it's been so much fun. And you know, it helps the watch hours as well, which is kind of like crazy because you kind of like finish your stream and you're like, people watch me for like 70 hours. Like, what? It's just me. Like, yeah, it's really crazy actually, but really fun.
We also shout out Sarah for paving the way for regular female streaming. An excellent shout out from Tech.
Also, just something kind of random that Ross brought up. My husband, if you're not familiar, Ross, was like, you know, on our channels, it's just, you know, we think that it's normal. Like YouTube is a whole place, right? And we're all pretty familiar with the platform, probably since we're all here. But we're competing against like TV, like NBC, all these giant corporations and these, you know, TV companies, Netflix, you know, for people's attention, and people come watch us, and that's the coolest thing, you know. And it just really does form that community. But yeah, I don't know. He said that the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. That's insane. You know, like our direct competitors like Netflix and Hulu and all of these huge streaming services. But
do you guys think that gives any? But is that maybe part? Like, I feel like we get to have such a direct connection with the people in chat, and like when we get to watch and even like reading chat now, like I recognize every single one of these handles. I get to talk to all of you. I get to stream with some of you, like the people that we get to interact with. There's this idea, I think, with like Netflix or something, that this is this very far off, very fictional, very remote bunch of people, and they're hairless and poreless and suntanned and beautiful. And like that, like I almost peed my pants on stream the other day, laughing so hard about the whisper. I had no choice but to tell everybody, I need us to cry. I'm going to pee my pants on the streets. It's not my chair. It's not my house. But there is something about like we get to hang out with our community, like when we stream together, especially like today is a great example that was like, oh, I get to go hang out with all our friends. We're gonna go hang out. And we were all in the chat like, see you soon, friends. What kind of coffee are you like? Absolute chaos nonsense. And it was wonderful. It was a very different experience to watching a show that I might enjoy and admire and appreciate and be wrapped by. I don't feel like I get participation. I don't feel like I have access to any of those people.
Yeah. I think that there's this weird thing that also happens, that when I was like primarily in chats and I wasn't streaming, I don't like, you're there, and even if you're lurking, it's just like, oh, I'm here, right? Yes. It's like very separated from everything. And then actually streaming on the other side, it's like, dude, I'm so excited when someone shows up, you know, and you do recognize those names, and like we're building community, and we're also building like relationships, and it goes such a long way. And that's something that I always joke that I didn't do YouTube before Lego, really, like very much the stereotypical what people use YouTube for, like, how do I do this? I'm a muley forever. And like, I would even like make fun of the like, please like, comment, and subscribe, beep, beep, boop, boop. And all of that. But like, and then as like someone showing up in the stream chat, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm here, like whatever. Like there's some type of gratification of when someone says hello to you when you enter a chat. True. But like having the 3 people that show up, or having the 300 people that show up, it's like, dude, I'm so excited you're here. And even when you're really tired, like you were saying, Joanna, like when you're really tired, like I do a Sunday stream, and a lot of the times it is a bumbling mess, but I'm just so happy to see people there. And especially happy, like, big shout out. If you stay up for streams for people that don't live in your time zone, I'm specifically looking at Sai, because Sai will pop into my streams when it's absolutely inconvenient for him. And he only will be there for a little bit, but I'm so delighted. Like, I'm so delighted and so flattered. And I can only imagine that is a ubiquitous experience.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody say hi to Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
I'm going to touch the demon bull again. The demon bull clone. Touch your Lego stuff. That actually... Lauren, you just recently started. I feel like we were all like, Lauren, come to streams. Lauren, come to stream. Lauren was like, I don't even go here. I'm like, and you're like, Lauren. And then you got your stream set up. How much of that was peer pressure, and how much of it maybe, yes, Sean, in a minute, Sean, in a minute. Lauren, it's Lauren's turn. Lauren.
Please. It was a science girl trying to go from absolutely knowing nothing about the computer and very little about, mic, audio, video. Yes. What pixel is this? And what's frame rate? And how does the mic not echo when, listening to the computer? Do I need headphones? Do I not need headphones? The iPhone doesn't work well with the PC. So what do I need to do that?
oh, all these people have my movie. Well, that's just great for you. I don't. So what do I need to do? What's vector drawing? How do I draw a sig fig? All of this.
Yeah.
And so it was I was using my walker and I was just like edging towards it. I was just like, okay, step 1, videos. Step 2, don't work as much. And then that backfired. And so just try and get closer, join chats, and then just sit back, wait your turn, just be a part of the community, and then it'll happen. Because that's what it was just kind of like, I'm gonna let it happen. I definitely like I'm a little bit Southern, where it's just like, you just wait for the invite. You wait to be invited to someone's house. You don't invite yourself over unless you're Brenda and BoPro, who live next to each other and you have that relationship already.
Also,
we're just kind of like, I want to be on the next stream, Brenda. You better invite me.
Because you're from North Carolina, you have it in you to like let me in and allow me to disrupt your day.
It's a thing. Yeah. I mean, and I don't sound very Kentucky, but it's there. It may come out. I'm sorry.
Southerners. Huh? I'm so glad we were able to drag you.
So, and I finally figured it out, and I've learned so much, and I really want to do, I just really want to do a video of just going from 0 to here about what is all of this, and YouTubing and watching, all of these, inspirational YouTube, like Think Media, and like all these, like, you can succeed, how to break the YouTube code. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh
I don't need all of that. I just need to know how to make the videos.
Guys, we need, Lauren, that is the perfect answer to that question. And also, I'm glad it didn't feel like an onslaught.
But it was working towards this. And so it does feel very fulfilling to be able to interact with you all, because once again, it's going from Lego lover for a very long time ever to finding these very few women and then a bigger women like representation in the Lego with old, new, newer. And so it was just incredible. Just kind of, I'm just going to pop in here. Yeah. And I would also like to say, back to the like dark ages, telling your friends, getting judged. This is the least weird thing I do. So when I drop that, oh, hey, I started a Lego YouTube channel. Don't blink an eye. My friends, that's back. That's back noise. That's just like, oh yeah, no, that's more normal than the other things you do. So that's fine.
I have a lot of questions, by the way.
Lauren's actually like perfectly moved us into, I don't know if you've noticed, but DMCS is launching a mutiny in the chat because he would like to know the answer to the second half of his question, which Lauren kind of took us perfectly to, and it might sort of be the topic that we end on, but it sounds like you were moving towards this goal of being able to participate in the community and stream and be a bit of an observer, and you put in work to do it, which applause for that. Like that is also an admirable thing, to Emily's point about getting monetized. Also just figuring out what even is a pixel, even that 100% respect for that. Also, if you are in the chat or on the panel or out in the world lurking, whatever, and you have that in your heart, that's kind of Board Productions' whole bit. So if you need loving hand-holding through your stream setup, we only look even demi-functional, and I only look like I'm not currently on fire all of the time, because Board Productions like figured out how to light and figured out how to set up the camera and figured out how to get us on StreamYards, all of those things. So DMCS's question, which I was getting to, Sean, is what are your goals? Who has like something that they're headed for? Who has something that they've got their eye on, Lego wise, YouTube wise, connecting with your community? Let's maybe Emily, because I think Emily might have to duck off soon. So we'll ask.
Oh,
next.
Oh God, I'm first.
Surprise!
I was like really hoping I had time. You know, if you start on either direction, I was like, in the
I know,
middle.
and also I've been doing that this whole time.
I'm like, good, I have time. Oh, God. I mean, I have a lot of goals, right? Like, so I'm full time now. I really do need to take it seriously. Not that I wasn't before, but I guess number one would be like submitting a Lego Ideas project, because that's just like a whole thing on its own. And like, I finished my master's recently, and it feels kind of like a master's where you have to think about what's your topic, like what do you want to work on for the next month, or, you know, master's is longer than that, but for Lego Ideas, hopefully it doesn't take too long to build something, but just kind of taking something start to finish, just like having this idea of like, I want to build this weird mock or, you know, whatever, and learning how to render and getting it submitted. You know, I don't even know how to do any of that. And then hopefully get it to 10K, which sounds kind of impossible, but, you know, who knows, maybe it'll be awesome. So yeah, like submitting a Lego Ideas project and just having it good, I guess, would be a pretty big goal. And then obviously just like keeping the channel going, like putting out almost daily content, if not daily. Sometimes it's just nice to take a chill pill.
Right.
But yeah, just
Don't
keeping
get burnt out.
that climb, you know, just keep going.
An excellent goal. What about you, Danny? Surprise. Ha! Erratic behavior.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about this lately because, you know, things are going well. And the next thing that I want to do is attend a lot of conventions. And we got Brick Fair, Virginia coming up. So I actually found a couple of TFOs around the area that my brother is friends with. And we've been getting together and we are working on our first ever mock, like larger scale mock. And I didn't even know how to build like rock landscaping, for example. And so I was looking around for videos on like, how do you rock landscape in Lego and stuff like that. So it got me thinking about the future potential of being able to actually build mocks, like larger scale mocks, because I'm just going to keep acquiring pieces. And I think it would be great to know how to use them in a variety of ways. So tips and tricks, I'm definitely watching you. I'm looking and see how I can utilize all these different weird pieces. So that being said, I think that'll be something that I'll branch out to more, because right now I mainly do like news, shopping hauls, building reviews. But in terms of like developing my Lego skill, yeah, I definitely want to like be able to recreate, not just make like, oh, my own creation. Like right now we're just free building. And I want to actually be able to look at the source material and make it look like that, because right now I cannot do that out of Lego.
Right.
And that's like such a skill. So mad props to people who do that. But yeah, I think that's something that I want to branch off to in the future. And right now I do release videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually at least one video on the weekend too. So I think I'm happy with being able to keep up that kind of schedule. And because I do work full time, so that's probably about as much as I can really push out in a week. But if I can keep that up, I feel really happy about it.
These are spectacular goals. These are spectacular goals, and also very well thought out. I can't wait to see you crush all of them, which I have no doubt you're going to do. Jermaine, what about you? What do you want? What do you want next?
It's going to be me next. Just knew it.
Did you feel it in your heart? It's our.
I did.
It's our.
I was like, I'm going to avoid eye contact, and then maybe she won't call on me.
I know it. She's been a teacher.
The opposite.
Yes, I know. Always the opposite, right?
Your forehead.
See the top of my head. Yeah, for me, I'm just trying to like live a normal life, I think. Like at this point, that's my like current goal, and that's going to sound really weird, but I think because of like the pandemic and everything, like everybody's kind of excited to go back to normal and like take whatever you wanted with this weird time forward.
Yeah.
And for me, like I had my hip replaced a couple months ago. So for me, my normal life before was very sad. And so Lego was a really good coping mechanism for me, but it also has become this like huge, big thing that I'm like wanting to take forward. It wasn't just oh, I build because I can't, you know, go play outside like I wanted to or something. So for me, it's about like reconnecting with something that was important to me as like a kid and helped me get into architecture and everything. So it also makes me think more about how like in my career, like I've always wanted to be an architect, but I have also wanted to work for Lego. I think it would be very fun. And I don't know if people saw the Tricky Brick stream last Sunday, where the concept designer was on, and I was like, that's what I want to do. He was so good. He was like, he makes the ideas and then he like does a little thing and then he hands it off to somebody else to refine. I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to refine. That part is so hard. And that's like where my, like at work, and Claire might be able to relate to this. Like it can be so hard to like get it to that like perfectionist level of like finality. And I'd rather just come up with the, you know, great concept and then hand it off to somebody else to finish and like guide them. So that would be something that would be very cool that has like recently come back into my radar of thinking. That is like not going to happen anytime soon, but right now I'm just trying to enjoy Lego and live my, you know, pain-free life, which is pretty cool. And so
May always introduce the balance also.
Yes.
I enjoy the balance of like, let's just take a little step back from hustle culture because it can be toxic. That is
super toxic. Yeah. Callie's into astrology, so she says that like I'm a Gemini, so I'm an air sign, but then also my moon and my rising signs are also air signs. So I'm this like airbender if you're into Avatar. So I'm very like centered and zen and like try really hard to do this sort of stuff. So that if you take anything away from that stream, that's if you need to talk about balance, shout out to BFAB. He and I talk about balance all the time.
The goals are spectacular, and I also very much appreciate the intro of balance and the suggestion of airbender. I cannot help but ask Cece, what goals do you want to crush next? What do you think?
Popcorn Cece.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also trying to just find balance. I mean, I guess it's pretty obvious if you guys were following me. I took a mighty long time off. It wasn't intended to be that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of slipped away. But I would love to come back and at least, you know, figure out how to do like a weekly type thing, like a week video and then maybe next week a stream type of thing. Because I do miss you guys a whole lot. But at the same time, I'm also like launching businesses and things like that, like on the side, or like trying to figure out some other like endeavors. And so that's kind of crazy. Also, I'd like to plug my merch, which is one of the projects I've been working on. Brick Boss Apparel. You can go check them out on Instagram. There's nothing on there just yet, but because I've been coding, and so that's the other endeavor. Not coding, no code. So working on no code apps and things like that. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
If one of the mods is able to go and grab that and drop the link in the chat, that would be wonderful. Cece, what's the handle one more time?
Brick Boss Apparel.
Brick Boss Apparel. Thank you, Lauren. Obviously, already on it.
Well, it's not a heart. It won't focus, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's a heart, and it says Brick Boss Apparel. And so finally got all the designs finalized and things like that. So really excited to get that going, because that's a way for me to like express my creativity, contribute to the community as well, but not have to be presentable all the time and in front of the camera.
Right.
If that makes sense. So yeah.
Smart. Joanna, what's up next for you? A little bit of balance, a little bit of hustle, a little bit of both. All are welcome here. What do you think?
So I really like that everybody's goals are quite like balanced, and you know, I feel like we're all going through a bit of a transition phase at the minute. The pandemic's like stopped real life so hard, and all of a sudden, like I feel like at least in the UK, it's not like back to normal any way, shape, or form, but it is definitely opening up more. So now there is things like social lives to manage, which I have completely forgotten how to do. But there are so many more demands on my time, and I've run my own business before really excellently and temporarily, and by doing that and being really obsessed by it, I kind of lost all the love for it. So I'm really trying to protect this Lego thing that is massively my hobby and just grow it whilst still enjoying it. So I'm a bit chaotic in my YouTube approach, where I just make something if I feel like I have something to say or if I have something to update you on, which is, I mean, relatively often, but I haven't really got a schedule. I just kind of do it when I want to. the streams are a little bit scheduled just because Ben wants to make sure that he's aware that this is going to happen because he doesn't like being dragged in last minute, which is fair enough. Yeah, I'm just trying to like have that, but also I need to make sure that like I really loved about pandemic is like spending more time with Ben because we were so busy with our jobs and commuting and our other lives and friends that I think we kind of lost sight of like investing in the relationship, because at the end of the day, it's really easy to take your partner for granted. So I feel like that's something that I want to keep doing as well, just make sure that I don't like just go away, like do YouTube and my job and start working from the office again and never see him again. So I really need to make sure, which is why I like that he's in my streams so much as well. And then, seeing friends as well, fit that in somewhere. So it's, there's a lot of demands on your time. So it's really nice to like kind of try and have a bit of time for everything, basically. So hence why my videos are random days. But I'd like to keep growing it. I love this space. Honestly, this community is fantastic. It's such a joy in my life. So I'm just so happy to be here, really.
Fair. Me too. And happy to have you as well. I also love the balance. Sarah, what about you? What do you think is up next? And also, like, guys, feel free to plug by all means. You got streams, you got merch. Let me have it.
It's kind of tough for me to answer that right now because I sort of had a similar thing as CC in where I really couldn't do a lot of my regular stuff that I was doing anymore for a while due to some life stuff that started cropping up. And unfortunately, it's been hard to really put the energy and time into stuff that I wanted to for YouTube especially. So I guess that would be one of my wants, but it's sort of like determined by what happens in the future, whether I can actually do that. But it would be great to put more energy back into my channel. It's sort of stagnated a lot in the last few months, just from not being able to stream regularly even. It's really taken a toll. And that isn't the best, but it's something that you can bounce back from when you put the energy and time back into it. So something that would be nice to do. I miss everybody as well. When I can't be there, it makes me feel sad.
We are sending all of the positive vibes to all of you who are taking your rightful space and time, which is such a smart and compassionate thing to do, because that will let you do more cool shit later, right? I love that everybody has the self-awareness to be like, I'm going to need a minute. It can be hard. It can be hard to demand that. Michaela, what about you? What do you think? What do you want to happen next?
I think that I have this underbelly goal of like, I really want people to join lugs. I don't know why, but I'm very determined about it. I've talked to Emily about it extensively. And I don't know if I get full credit. I actually got in like a little tiff with other people in the lug about like who brought Emily and Ross to the lug.
I think it was you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Save the lugs.
Stated on stream. That
Put
is
it on
canon.
stream. It has been archived. But yeah, so like I'm really into lugs, and I think that I found the YouTube community first. But because of, funny brain, I'm always like, okay, just a little backup plan, and in case that just in case.
Right.
And so I also like investigated the lugs, and the lugs are really wonderful, and I think that they're underutilized. Right. It's a bunch of folks that have, just like stereotypically, it's a bunch of folks that have been into Lego for diggity dang ever. And they get a lot of perks. And it's like perks that I think that people don't know about. And it's also just like a different type of community that I think that we're becoming more and more like foreignated is not a word. Maybe alienated from, like these in-person weird type of like old school fanboy clubs. And I think like those shouldn't go away. Those are skills and connections and like beautiful relationships that need to be maintained. And so that's what my goal is to get more people into their local lugs. Local lugs specifically, because it's like you're going to talk to people that you wouldn't otherwise talk to, and that is the jam. That's where good stuff happens.
Concur. Okay, so we can look forward to Michaela Lug in the near future. Lug
I'll be
ambassadors.
very
Not
busy
lug.
running the Jamae fan club.
Very good. I think Tech might have that already.
No.
I don't know. You guys are going to arm wrestle?
It's a family.
Fight. It's a family.
And there's room for everybody.
Please call.
There's room for everyone. But there's a co-presidency at the minimum. But yeah, so join a lug. That's like my broader goal for like the community, and then like my personal goal is just like, maybe just a little bit more consistency on my part.
Okay, yeah.
I'm doing my best. Okay, pray for me.
I think you're doing beautifully.
Where's the fan? Where's the fan?
Yeah, look at that. Look at the fan with the hair ties.
Listen.
What about you, Claire? What do you have? What do you want to be the next thing that happens?
Oh man,
What do you want it to be?
such a heavy question. Lego, like doing this was like my way to balance and like my freedom away from losing balance at work, right? And then I realized that I was so much happier doing this, and now like my partner's also in the hobby, and it's a huge plus, right? It's a lot easier to make content when you're kind of both in it with the same veracity. But I think for me, what I would like to obviously, like, just to be transparent, I would obviously like to see success on YouTube. That'd be great. I think the lifestyle that it can provide is amazing. But I think what I'd like to do is really do a deep dive and use Lego as a medium rather than the focus, and have it be doing maybe more education videos or something like that, or more architecture videos where like Lego isn't the center focus, but it is the way to facilitate that. And I did leave my company, so I'm going on Monday and handing in like my computer and all that stuff. So yeah, I did. But I'm also pursuing some other stuff on the side other than YouTube and stuff. So that we'll see how that goes. But I think that would be really great. In an ideal world, I'm also like a realist, and I want to be careful with my all my eggs that I don't know what basket I'd put in, but I think that's kind of where my mind is going as far as like the creative outlet would be, maybe changing I don't know. I will see. But I want to keep doing like vlogs and stuff because the lifestyle stuff is my favorite to do. And, I know, Emily, you've said the same thing. It's like, it's not even like screw the Lego review. You know what I mean? It's like, it's you and your family and I think that's what I want to see. I want to see like how people interact with the hobby and what it brings to their life versus like, what they thought of like the latest set. But that's my personal opinion. But yeah.
You guys are all getting a ton of love in the chat for your incredible and balanced and inspirational answers. Everybody is following your channels, following you on Instagram. In short, our plan is working perfectly. It's working perfectly. I am so excited to see all of the beautiful people meeting each other and showing up and supporting each other on stream, in chat. You are all wonderful. A little love for our incredible, kind, compassionate, completely delightful chat. You have been impeccable. It's always interesting when we bring a whole bunch of audiences together. And once again, this audience is a reflection of all of these beautiful people on the panel. So if they are wonderful, it is because that is the energy you are putting out into the world and what you are drawing to you. So well done. Does anybody have any last thoughts burning in their heart? Anything that they want to plug? Anything that they want to say? Any merch? Any projects on the horizon? Anything that you wish we had talked about that we didn't get to touch on before we all go eat our dino nuggies?
I'm going to be on Tricky Bricks tomorrow, which is fun. It'll be fun to finally meet them. It's been like months of planning, but I also wanted to say thank you, Brenda and Ashley, for this, because this has been so lovely. Thank you for organizing it and putting us all in a group chat, even though it was against Claire's will. I think it was actually really fun. And I'm really excited to see more of this, participate in more of it, whether it's in the chat or in the video. So those are my closing thoughts. Thank you.
Back at you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Also, just a quick note, everything functioned. All those questions came up. We had all those questions. We had all those comments because Board Productions was once again just quietly making life function.
MVP.
talking a lot of nonsense, because that is the way. Shout out to BoPro making it fun.
BoPro is a goddess. She does accept sacrifice on Saturdays only. So just want to schedule that in. Do your best.
Yes. Thank you for letting everyone know.
Does anybody else want to give a shout out to your streams? Anybody have anything going on the horizon? Want to jump in? Oh, you're so welcome, Nick. Thank you. Thank you for being so lovely. Okay, well, listen, it is all in the comments. You know where to find us. Everybody, please make sure that you take a big drink of water. You can now return your volumes to their normal level. You can put your headphones back in. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you go digging through the comments and find all of the links to all of these beautiful people so that you can subscribe to them, support them, share them. And if you are able to show up to a stream or contribute to the channel, all of those things are wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. We will see you all on our respective live streams, probably in each other's chats and on each other's Insta feeds until we meet again. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, do it. Do it.